Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream today. It's the 9th of February 2022, 4 minutes past 5 in the evening in the United Kingdom. And we're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator today. We are in Ecuador, the capital Quito, Sierra Echo Quebec Mike, up here 8,000 feet above sea level. We're in the Aerosoft CRJ, the latest version. We're going to be flying 1 hour 50 minutes southbound over the Andes. We'll be flying to Peru for the first ever time. We're going to go to the capital Lima. Just been wanting to fly this aircraft for quite some time. It's one of the better quality payware aircraft available. We did a test sector yesterday, ran into a few problems. Hopefully we won't repeat too many of those today, and we are on VATSIM today, and yeah, looking forward to it. It's been a while since we've flown this aircraft indeed. And yes, let's see who we got here in the chat today then. So John Padfield, does the CRJ ILS these days? Yesterday, no problem flying the ILS. Seemed to be working fine in that respect there. Aristocrat, any penguins good eating? I would imagine with their diet the meat is fish tasting. What? I'm talking about eating penguins for. Anti-Teal, thank you very much for repeating everything I said at the start of the stream. Unbelievable. I hope you had a great birthday the other day as well, buddy. Hawaii 345 Pete H is here. Ollie Blocks Gamer, Listermid, Aaron Hastings, hope you're doing well, buddy. Bloodline Pete, I've already said hello to. Lauren V2500 and Sleepy Lab, something about him coming back from Antarctica. Amazing. I think you might have been the only other person watching Flight Deck some live stream in Antarctica if you came from there, but I hope you had a safe trip because you were doing some sort of science work. Amazing. John Padfield, Alpaca CRJ looks very awesome. Yeah, this is Freckles Aviation's work. Actually made this livery when the aircraft was released last year. You'll notice there's no Fly Live at the top here. For some reason, it doesn't have the Peru Capital International Airport, Lima's Capital International Airport there in the database. It has my little local airfield, Fenland, Echo Golf Charlie Lima, but which has a grass airstrip, but it doesn't have Lima, so that way I can't actually use the overlay today. So you'll just have to imagine it's there, and I'll keep you updated with regards to ETA and times and stuff like that. Superb. Now, this airport, believe it or not, it's included. I don't know if it's for a premium version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it's a detailed one. It's actually really good. This is a stock airport. I think they include 20 or 30 high quality airports with the deluxe version. This is one of them. So yeah, really nice to have here. And don't forget, we are 8,000 feet above sea level, so we've got to think about density, altitude, performance on departure. Ideally would have been in the 737 because I'll give you all the information I'd know about that, but we'll do our best in this aircraft as well. I'll be following the included tutorial to get this aircraft set up. Again, remember, I'm not familiar with this. Having flown the Challenger 650 from, the Challenger, no, it's Challenger 650 from Hot Start, I'm reasonably still familiar with the aircraft. But here she is anyway, all ready to go, completely cold and dark. I've got the drone cab on maximum speed here, which is making my panning less professional, so let me just slow that down to something a little bit more controllable. What? Did I do? Oh, I did the wrong one, didn't I? I did drone zoom level. Let's put that back to 50. Speed down to about 4%. I think that's the default speed. Ah, yes, that's a far more acceptable drone speed. But there she is, yes. We'll get some baggage loaded up here. We're going to simulate taking 50 passengers on this sector today to Lima, Peru. Superb. Right, anyway, let's now use my camera skills to get into the cockpit. There we are. Oh, my goodness me. One thing I did notice, I don't know if this is an error by Aerosoft, but you can see all the emergency slides and door guidance is all upside down. I noticed this yesterday, so you can see the exit, caution, AP open. I mean, you could do this with the camera, and then you can see it's all correct, but maybe they'll fix it at some point. But let's go on into the cockpit. Ah, yes, professional as ever. Superb. I can press that button. Oh, there we go. We're in. Hello, Chocolates Racing. Hope you're doing well. You might find the airport using code SPIM, said Stefan Malcolm. Really? Let me try that. Because I do like having Fly Live there, because you can see all of the flight info. Is that actually correct? Jorge Chavez International Airport? No way. So why is it in reality the airport, it says Sierra Papa Juliet Charlie, but Sierra Papa India Mike is indeed coming back as Jorge Chavez International Airport. How did you know that, whoever that was? I can't remember who it was now. The chat scrolled up there. But yeah, I'll get Fly Live up and running then. SEQM, our call sign today is Alpaca 9 Quebec Lima. We are on VATSIM today. So I'll press OK. I just need to put the overlay on for CRJ 7, which is our aircraft. There we are. Hopefully it will recognise it and it will say the correct code, so we'll save that, and you guys should now see fly live. There we are. That's really cool. So Sierra Papa India Mike. That's so unusual. Did they have a change then, and then they haven't updated the fly live database? I have no idea. Are you a real human? Said Atomic Penguin. Unbelievable. Surely it's all to be the right way up inside when it's closed. Ah, of course, Jonathan Wiltshire. That makes sense. So maybe I'm the one being foolish. Of course. That now makes perfect sense. Is the stairs not correct when the door is closed? Yes. Oh my goodness me. Let's get your emojis out whilst you can. Aviationpedia, big fan, Captain. Thank you very much. It's closed when it's in the right direction. I looked at it and I didn't think about that. Obviously, we don't have a floppy door on the 737, so I don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. Unbelievable. You're making me blush now. How embarrassing. Right, so let's get the aircraft powered up. Circuit breakers are all in. I don't think they're modelled on this aircraft. You can see they're all flush, so that's fine. Nose wheel steering verify, that is off, which is down here. Microsoft still have got the mouse cursor bug where it disappears. When will they fix that? No one knows, but make sure that is off for now. Hydraulic pumps are all off, and landing gear lever verify is down. Flight spoiler lever is stowed. Let me just turn this jazzy music down a little bit there. There we go. Oh, I just realised that Microsoft Flight Simulator audio is muted as well. There we are. That's that. Radar's off. ADG manual release is stowed. Emergency flap switches in the normal position. That's here. And we can now get some power to the aircraft. So, battery on. It's making lots of noises. And I think I have to use this to get the power supply. So, request power supply. So, power unit is on the road. Let's request everything. Baggage service. Let's get catering here as well. I think this is all quite cool, actually. Oh no! Watch your head! Bang! So I think the bag, yeah, the baggage is loaded that side here. So the GPU truck's driving in. I didn't actually try that yesterday. Here's the catering truck. It's pretty cool. Sierra Papa Juliet Charlie is closed. Really? Aerostar. I mean, I have the airport information in front of me, and it's saying Sierra Papa Juliet Charlie is Lima International Airport. It's providing me with a METAR that's updated, so I'm guessing it's open there. Very, very good. It is a floppy door, Kieran. That's the exact correct terminology. So how long does it take until the AC power is available? Or maybe I can't use Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have to use this. There we are, ground power cart connected. There we go. In use. There we go. Screens are all coming alive. Sounds like we're in business. Excellent. So yeah, I'll just show you what I'm following here to get the aircraft set up. If I can remember how to bring it up. Here's the PDF I'm following. So it's the included documentation for the tutorial flight. We're going to have to do the speeds manually. What I found out, it took me ages, and I thought it was broken. You see here the performance V speeds are all blank. I actually found it in the Aerosoft forum. The reason they're blank is they haven't included airports or allow for airports above an elevation of 6,000 feet. 40, so I'm having to use 30, the table here 20, to actually get the data for 8,000 manually to put the speeds in. Thank you for...
I'm running late in duty free, buying you aftershave. Please wait for me, darling.
Thank you very much, Julia Roberts, for the £5. I'm running late in duty free, buying it aftershave. I should think the stuff in Ecuador's pretty strong. Please wait for me, darling. Waiting, Julia. Thank you very much indeed for your donation. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you shortly, darling. Unbelievable. Matthew Presley, hope you're doing well. Get my popcorn ready. You are, I believe, a CRJ pilot, so I'll be looking forward to all your input and assistance today. And thank you very much, whoever you are, Juliet Roberts, for your very kind donation. So yeah, the V speeds are blank, and that's to do with the fact that I don't think Aerosoft included data for airports above 6,000 feet or something, so we'll have to do the V-speeds manually for departure. Right then, so carrying on with the checklist. APU I don't want to use at this stage. Put the IRS to nav, which is down here. There we are, IRS to nav, emergency equipment not simulated and checked, gear and safety pins, make sure they're on board, documentation we check, hydraulic 3A pumps as required, so it says for this tutorial flight please leave the pumps off for now, we'll turn them on later. Okay, FMS we'll do later, emergency lights, no smoking, and seatbelt signs on. So let's actually get the aircraft fueled up. I didn't actually take the time to do this beforehand. So let me bring up the operational flight plans. This is from SimBrief. I found on the test sector earlier that the CRJ 700 default profile is pretty spot on. The fuel burn was pretty much matching the flight plan exactly. So we need a total of 4.5 tons for our sector. I'm going to whack on an extra ton, which is 40 minutes. Flight time. This is burning 1500 kilos an hour, so we put an extra ton, that's 40 minutes. So if I go down here to the EFB, fuel, we'll put 5.4 on board. So 5.4. I said I'd take 50 passengers out of 70. Nothing in the forward cargo and 500 kilos in the aft cargo. And puts my CG right in the middle, 21.5%. So I can set payload in simulator, which is, I think, that button. Doesn't seem to be moving the... Now someone said to me it's a bit of a bug at the moment where you actually have to basically empty it. Oh no, it is actually working now, so I'll put that fuel back in. Yeah, so long as you can see it moving on the gear, it looks like it's working. So we've got the fuel on board, 50 passengers, and that's loaded into the simulator as well. So that is done. Fueling's complete. Just verify that amount there. 2735 aside. Yeah, that's pretty much 5.5, so happy with that. Buenos dias, Captain. Thank you very much, DFW HVAC. Hope you're doing well. List of it, it's official. Me and Julia, unbelievable. Matthew Presley, correct. Yes, this aircraft. I'm looking forward to your assistance here. I'm following the default Aerosoft checklist, Matthew, so it's completely different to your operator, but it does seem to get everything started up as required. Warren, thank you very much for the 14 months. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all is well. Thank you very much for your 14 months as a member. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you very much for your continued support. Right, carrying on with this tutorial then. No smoking and seatbelt signs on. We've armed the emergency exit lights. Somehow test the oxygen system. There we are, it's doing something. Pedal seat and harnesses adjusted. Oxygen mask checked. Audio warning panel checked. It says go over here for that. Make sure that the mouse... I have to keep doing that thing to get the mouse cursor back. I think, do I have to push these in? Check that both push buttons are safeguarded and no lights are illuminated. That's done. So, onto the overhead panel, the electrical panel. It says all gen disconnect switches are auto and IG disconnect switches are guarded. They are. AC power's in use. DC service switch is off. Battery is on. Fire detection, fire monitor to test complete. It says hold this button down and then check the ICAS messages. So I think I can't move quick enough from pushing this button and checking something. But yeah, I saw a fire system test okay very briefly there. External lights then. So we really need the nav lights on. It says turn the logo light off. There's no point because it's the middle of the day. Fuel panel check. Ensure that fuel pumps are switched off, which is indicated by all lights being off. Okay, so we'll leave them off there. Check the bleed air system on the first flight. We won't worry about that. Wing anti-ice bleed air switch is off. Verify the isolation valve is open. And bleed source switches are both engines. AP panel as required. We'll start that later. Hydraulic panel checked. So again, it's just telling me to leave all the hydraulics off. Then we check the ICAS page for the hydraulics, which is all modelled, I believe. So there's hydraulics. As you can see, I have no pressure. Basically, it says essentially it's a lot of testing you need to do, but I'm just going to put all the pumps on or auto, or auto on, auto, and I think at this stage it pressurizes the central system, not the outer one. But yeah, it says all on auto. That's all done. Do you have INS, says Benny?
Well,
it has IRS, so yeah, it's being aligned right now as we speak. Oh, I've accidentally skipped a few pages on this checklist. There we go. Cabin pressurization panel is next. So, ICAS check, we'll imagine that's done. Man altitude selector is in the center position, so we don't want it... I know, that's good, we want it on man. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need emergency depressurization. Recirc fan can come on of this stage. Pack switches in auto. Oh, they already are in auto, it's just because it's off. And aft cargo. I guess that will put that on there. Temperature control switch auto. Ram air switch off. Engine and cowl anti-ice switches are off. Ice detection test complete. So push that. I think it says ice somewhere. Or ice detected? Not so sure. Well, that system's tested. Matthew, logo lights, we're regional. We don't even pay for the lights in the first place. Half our planes literally don't even have a logo light switch. Oh, really? Well, yeah. We actually have logo lights and they're on at night below 10,000 feet. So, oh, this was a posh CRJ with the logo light on. Very good. Windshield switch, or windshield heat on low. That's it. Standby compass checked. Stall test, which I think is just here. Lift the guard up. Got a stick pusher. There we are. You can hear the stick shaker, but it doesn't actually move the control column. We can definitely hear it. That's all checked. Nose wheel steering switch verify still off. Clock is set, so we're live time, live weather. 17:20 Zulu, so it's 12:20 local time here in Ecuador at the moment. EFIS panel set, so display switches. Is there a way of getting rid of the control column? Because it's very much in the way. I tried to find out yesterday, but I couldn't find it. But that's the map display, and the rest is all set here. We'll just set the QNH here in Quito, which is 1025. So I think if I push B, yes, it sets it automatically. That's what I like to see. Hello, Fly Hope. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for popping in. Day Pilot, I think packs are now not on auto now. Are you sure? I think they are because maybe you're right. And with the fault light coming on, because there's no bleed air. That would make sense. Thank you very much there. Hello, Jim Packer. There goes. Just quick hop in, say hello. Hope you're doing well. Get your wheels set up so you can join us in the next race there. Listen, how do you get rid of yoke dash fly Airbus? Absolutely excellent. Carl's, wow, 0 delay in the live stream. I know, I have the latency set to about 10 seconds, so if I see a message, it usually pops up 10 seconds on my screen. Just means a slight drop in quality, but I'd rather have that than a bit of a delay. But I think the quality is pretty good for you guys. Right, instrumentation panel checks. We've got QNH sets. Make sure the altimeters cross-check. So the elevation here, now we have the correct QNH set is, where's station elevation here? 7,800 feet, so that's looking good. 7874, and that's also on Jim's side as well. So that's all done. Anti-skid test. So you just turn it off, verify, anti-skid inboard and outboard light illuminates, and then back off again. Cancel the master caution. Main landing gear overheat test.
Gear bay overheat.
Many tests. Right, those tests are done. And upper pedestal, FMC, mute horn switch, landing gear lever verified down, engine sync switch, verify N1 or N2. Ground proximity switches check are on with no lights. Check the throttle quadrant, pitch and roll disconnect handles. What do these red handles do? I think I asked this before. Does it actually physically disconnect the aileron and elevator? That's scary. I don't know what situation you'll ever have to pull that, but I don't like it. Looks like something straight off of Apollo, one of the Apollo rockets. Unbelievable. Thrust levers check, shut off. Avionics panel down here, so we're going to load up the FMC shortly. We'll put our armrests out the way here. So on VATSIM, VHF radio 1, we're going to put the weather radar on later. We're not going to use the backup radio. I think stab trim on, Mac trim on, yaw damper on. I think we're otherwise all good down here for now. So that's looking hunky-dory. Trim, rudder and aileron trim we'd set. We'll set stab trim later on once we've completed the takeoff performance. So boost pumps. Now, the tutorial seems to go up and down on the overhead panel. I'm sure in reality a bit more of a panel scan, but it does now say boost pumps on. Monitor center tank quantity. Now, which ones do I turn on here? Is it just these front two? Do I actually turn on these ones here as well? That was my question, because it doesn't actually say in the tutorial. I think for my test flight I had it like this, just the left and right boost pumps on, but I'm sure Matthew will be able to answer that one for us. Disconnects the left and right side from each other in the event of a PCU runaway or control jam. Okay, very, very good. FJB, what airline do you fly for? A commonly asked question, and one that I fully understand people would like to know, but one I do not wish to divulge or share. My operator is well aware of my channel, and they give me full permission to stream. I just wish to maintain my privacy. Thank you very much for your understanding. No, that's for the crossflow. Perfect. So just the top ones. Excellent. I'll leave it as it is. Right, now I think it's time to load up the flight management computer. This tutorial is up, down, left, right and centre. So I've actually installed the Navigraph updated database with the charts plugin, so that's pretty cool. So we have now got the latest air rack installed. The FMS is very similar to the 737's FMS, so I just sort of follow the process that I do in the 737 to make sure it's all loaded. For the boost pumps, just the top two when running the engines. Cool, thank you very much, Matthew. So probably a little bit premature with regards to turning those on. I'll leave it for now. Right, so pause in it. We are in. Let me bring up the Navigraph charts. There we go. Sierra Echo Quebec Mike. Pretty cool that I can do this now. I think though the quality is a little bit less than it is from actually popping up the Navigraph. What do you call it? The actual charts app, which I can do, but we'll use this for now. Sierra Echo Quebec Mike is our current airport. Oh, CERM, that's why. Big thing I don't like about the Aerosoft CRJ here. The click spot for the clear button, the speed brake blocks it. So you have to get it into sort of down here is the only way to get to the clear button. So I try not to make mistakes when you're entering stuff into the FMS. Sierra Echo Quebec Mike. We'll put in the FMS position because I should think that's using a combination of GPS, nav aids and IRS, so that's all done. Flight plan, it doesn't come across like in the 7.3, so Sierra Echo Quebec Mike. And I'll just get rid of this for now and bring up the flight plan for you. Sierra Echo Quebec Mike to Sierra Papa Juliet Charlie. Sierra Papa Juliet Charlie. There we are. Our alternate is Pisco, Sierra Papa Sierra Oscar, which I'll pop in there, and we're going to go to the departure page. Runway 36 here. Do I actually have any ATC? I've not checked. No ATC. The METAR then, the surface wind is 0405, so expecting runway 36 for departure. So runway 36. The SID, as you can see, is a Ketom 2 Alpha. Ketom 2 Alpha. Flight plan. And I think we go to next page. There we are. And it's simply just one airway that takes us all the way to the arrival. So I don't have to punch much in. Upper Mike, 674. Right over the Andes. Super flight today. To Atatu. And then departure arrivals. I'm going to put runway... Oh, yeah, I need to execute. I'm going to put ILS 15. The reason is, Navigraph says one of the... I don't think 3.3 is usually you can usually land on. It says on one of the charts, runway 3.3 is not approved for landing, which I find a bit strange because there is an approach for runway 3.3 as a VOR approach, but 15 is preferred for landing, 3.3 for departure. So I'm just going to go with Zulu. ILS 15 Zulu via the low bus transition. Execute. Just go to the legs page, check for any discontinuities. So I think it's just Atatu then Lobus. Execute, and if I go to MFD Advanced, move this to the plan page, which is rotating this one. I can actually step through it. Or not. There we go, just make sure there's no discontinuities. Straight in, look at that. Beautiful. So that's all done. Go back to map. Which is that one, and make sure that's all executed. Perfect, I think we're all good. Let's have a look at here in chat in case I've missed anything bad. Hello JDorg0302, hope you're doing well. Hello Daraday, hope you're doing well as well. Pete H, I made a camera review for just FMS, so have I. I've actually, I use it like X-Plane, so you have, what is it? I use Control Space for the default one, Alt 3, same as using the 3 on the numpad for X-Plane 4. The only thing is, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, in the default control space view, you get full movement of the head, which is great. But if you use one of the assigned views, it actually limits the camera movement, so you can't actually go all the way around. So that's a little bit annoying, but I do actually have assigned views for everything, which is pretty cool. List them in. It's the same for the 747 speed brake lever. Need to lean the cam forward a lot to use the buttons. Yeah, that's a real pain. Dave, why are specific letters on the FMC surrounded by a white box? Let's have a look here. I should think it's the cardinal compass. They are north, east, south, and west. Same on the 737. Why? Absolutely no idea. Maybe it's a way of Boeing or Bombardier thought of us having to quickly put coordinates in or something. No idea why, but that's why they're boxed there. Hello, Draven DeVere. Hope you're doing well. Have a nice flight. Thank you very much, sir. Sorry I'm taking so long, but this is a different aircraft to what I'm used to. Right, let's get rid of the flight plan. So performance, I think I can actually quickly send this from the FMS, which is pretty cool. So, I think it's about to... He just reversed into my CRJ. Thanks. Right, let's get init fuel, copy perf init data to FMS. I think that should have preloaded it all. Excellent. So we've got our operating weight, passengers, cargo, fuel, cruise altitude. We're at 37,000 feet today. Execute. VNAV set up. We're going to climb at 290. The transition altitude is 18,000 feet. We're actually going to cruise a little bit faster, 0.77. So I think that's it. Now regarding takeoff performance and the figures, I believe we need to reference this. So, usually, as I mentioned, the Aerosoft CRJ OPT would pre-populate this for you, but because of our elevation, it hasn't. And thankfully, a forum post is how I discovered that. Now, if I bring up the V-Speed CRJ table for our gross weight, our takeoff weight today is going to be... It's pretty much this exactly, 30.8 tons. Have a look at our pressure altitude. So I have, thankfully, a very handy app which calculates our pressure altitude, density altitude, and everything. Pressure altitude today is 7,500 feet based off of temperature, QNH. So let's use the 8,000 feet table. We're going to use flap 20 for departure. And you can see here the temperature right now is 20 degrees Celsius, so it is 20 here as well. We've got that there. So you can see here, look, V1 is 125 knots. So what I'm going to do, I think the only way to set it is I actually have to physically do it down here. So let me just try and get the head in a view so you can see everything and the performance here. So I said 125, I think. So what we're going to go here is go to V speeds. There we are, 125. It's probably, yeah, this is just a generic table. It's not taking anything into account regarding the slope, the runway length, or anything like that, obstacles either. And just V speeds based off the gross weight, essentially. So I think I do that, push that button. So V1 is set. How do I now? Oh, yes, select. There we are. So VR, if we look here, is 120, same speed, like 125. So we can now set that. 125 and V2. I don't know. Oh, I have V2 here actually. So flaps retraction speed. So V2 based off that flap setting is 131 knots. 131. That's selected. There we are. So we've got all the speeds set. What is VT? And that's my next question. I'm not so sure what that is. I'm just going to set on the speed window. It doesn't make much difference, but I think as soon as you select speed on departure, which you do at about 600 feet, it just commands the whatever speed you're doing. So I'll set V2, which is 131 knots, and then whatever VT is, Matthew. That would be great to know. I don't know if I can even set it manually. How do I actually set VT manually? So I've got VR, I can literally set V1, VR and V2. I have no idea how to set VT. VT is VFTO, it's on your iPad there. 191 knots, set. Perfect. And what does that speed represent, Matthew? Is that some sort of clean speed? That's not a speed reference in a Boeing jet, for sure. Basically, the minimum single-engine safe speed. Safe, clean, climb speed. Okay, perfect. And is that like the... So basically the up speed in the 7.3. I'll treat it as that anyway. But I've got actually V speeds for departure based off that table. Sorry, the cleanup speeds, it said select flap 8. We can use flap 20 for departure, flap 8 143, flap 1 151, flaps up at 175. That's from the table, so we'll go off that. Thanks for subscribing, Todd. Welcome to the channel. But I think we're okay. I've got all the V speeds set, performance complete, routing is all in the FMS, so I think we can now get ready for push and start. VNav, radios and nav aid set for departure, so we'll obviously brief everything shortly. It says you can set the bearing as needed and the nav aids, but leave them in auto if you need. Takeoff briefing complete, which I'll do now with you guys. Takeoff data is set, and yeah, next is engine start. So let me bring up the Navigraph charts for us. Where's all the... I had them all pre-selected down here. Alright, I might come back to this one, so let me just close this because I also have Navigraph open here, the actual charts app, which is a little bit clearer. Let me just double... Why hasn't that come up loads? There we go. So, we're parked right on here on the terminal on the remote stand 16. We're just going to do a straight pushback, taxi out via Juliet onto the Alpha taxiway, and then we're going to go all the way full length for runway 36 here for departure. Now, aircraft performance at airports like this is hugely diminished. The density altitude right now, it's 10,000 feet. So the aircraft, even though it's 7,000, it's behaving like we're at 10,000 feet. The main reason is it's because it's quite hot here. 20 degrees at this height is quite warm. So the performance is massively degraded. Despite that, this SIDS, the climb gradient requirement is quite low, 4.7%, so you know you should be fine. Even if you had an engine failure, I'm sure the engine out SID would be similar. But we've got to be at above 9,000 feet, then it's a left turn inbound to Quebec Mike 023. So if we go here to the legs page, you can see Quebec Mike 023, 11,500, it's all coded correctly. Then it's to Ilpex 12,600, Sinner 16,800, there's the high point, 19,200 feet there. And then it's to Ketop, got to be at or above 250. So just check the next page, Ketop 250. So it's all coded, it's an RNAV SID, and it's in the FMS, pretty good. So let me close Navigraph, and I will get rid of the Navigraph charts on that box. I'll get the APU started, and we're almost ready to go. So I think I pushed the power button. Make sure doors are closed. I don't know if there's a delay. I think I could just press start, stop straight away. Oh, there we are. It says start, and let's do the usual closing of everything. So we won't get rid of the ground power just yet. So close the service door, close the forward cargo, close the passenger door.
Captain, the cabin is secure. All passengers are aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome
I'm going to do a full-blown PA.
We hope you enjoy flying with us.
Unbelievable.
Before
Oh yeah, just a
takeoff,
stop
we
level,
would
but there's no
like to
ATC,
encourage
so I'm going to set
all passengers to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of the aircraft.
37,000 feet out cruise level. So 37,000 feet, and the runway QDM will set as well. The runway QDM for runway 36 is 002. So 002 will set a sensible range here as well. I like this add-on, you know, it's yeah, it's not like the Challenger Hot Start one with regards to detail immersion, but it's fully functional. It's a lot modelled, which is pretty cool. Oh, hi Matthew again. Our retraction schedule for flap 20 is V2 plus 12, flap 8 at V2 plus 20, go to flap 1 at VT minus 15, go flap, so I'm not going to remember that. It's so different to ours. Ours is all on the PFD. We just simply go off that. Excellent. Nightbot's doing its thing. Matches, we can accept 15 different payments, also bank transfer. What on earth are you on about there? Perfect. So, there's no better pushback here. I think I just do the ye old faithful of Shift P and we'll be fine. So, APU is available, so I think it's pretty posh. I could just literally disconnect the external power or unplug the external power. It's not like a Boeing, you know, you have to change the source of the AC power. And we just need to remove the chocks. There we are, removed. And reset all the master cautions. All I have left is window heat, which is on low at the moment. Inboard spoiler-ons. Christ, what have I forgotten? I hope it's nothing... Well, let's get the engines running and see what's left on there. Right, GPU is driving through the tug, and we'll get to pushback. Now, I do know there are some CSLs available for Microsoft Flight Simulator via... I tried it, and I tried downloading it. It just didn't seem to work properly. I was like, I'm just waiting for something official. That apparently it's using Iveo's one, which is apparently against Iveo's terms and conditions. I wasn't too happy doing it, so I'm just using no CSLs for now. So again, there's no ATC at all, so we'll go over to Unicom and we'll tell them of our intentions there, and we'll just make sure we've got our transponder on as well. So let me just go down here. So how did I get that to... Oh yeah, it's down there, wasn't it? Out selector, there we are. So it's now green, and we're not quite on Unicom. There we go. Just turn up old ATC here. There we go. Quito traffic, Alpaca 9 and Quebec Lima's pushing back. Stand 16. Perfect. Hydraulics should have all the switches down. Matthew, that's great. Thanks. They are all down. Alright, perfect. Right hand window heat, lol. You put the left on, but the right is still off. Whoops. Oh yeah. Whoops. There we go. Right, I think we're good. So I'm going to just use Shift P, see what happens. Oh, it's doing something. I'm only going to do a straight pushback. And I'll release the parking brake. Just running about 10 minutes behind schedule. It's really cool that this is all by default. Yeah, they do drive through the plane occasionally and whatnot, but it's pretty cool. Guys, don't forget I'm doing Across the Land on Saturday. You can vote for your preferred aircraft right now if you go to my community page. Right now it's an Airbus A340, which I wasn't expecting. So don't forget. Is Junior on board? Yes, on the jump seat, Robson. Right, we're pushing back. Let's now start engine number 2. So here's my tutorial. There we go. So to start engines, we just simply push the start switch to start. Start. You can hear the bleed being disconnected from the air conditioning system. It's pretty cool. At 20%, set the thrust lever to idle. So we have N2, N1. Where is oil pressure? Always want to check oil pressure before you start sticking fuel into a jet engine. Alright, we'll imagine that's checked. I think I pushed this guard. There we are. That's at idle. And I'm just going to simply press Shift P and you get dumped by the pushback tug, I think. There we are. It works. Turn off all that jazzy music in the background. So I've got N1. Turbine temperature N2. Ah, there's oil pressure. Right at the bottom, I didn't even see it. Yeah, okay. 2+154. It's coming. Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as we display the safety features and procedures of the aircraft in case of an emergency. During an emergency, please remain in your seats with your seatbelt
So it looks good.
fastened and
Everything's
your
stable.
seat in the upright
ITT's quite
position.
hot. I mean, is this the equivalent of EGT, or maybe maybe it's a turbine temperature? So we measure EGT and it's usually around 400 degrees. Right, let's repeat it for engine number 1.
The walkway emergency lights will display to the exits, which are located here and here.
N2.
In case of an extreme emergency
Oil pressure,
landing,
there we
you'll
are.
be instructed to get into
N1.
the brace position, which is executed by placing your head between your knees.
Simple takeoffs. Cap, maybe if Alpaca Airways expands, we can set up a subsidiary called Larvajet. Love it.
We thank you for paying attention during this brief presentation.
Oh, accidentally pushed the toga button, but never mind. I'll need it later. Looking good. She does sound a bit like an Aussie. So just waiting for the engine 1 to be stable. I won't worry about the fuel feed cross check. And then we'll do the after start checks. So that's what I like to see. No messages on the CAS. Brilliant. All looking clear. So, post-engine start procedure. Generator 1 and 2 is in the auto position. Anti-ice is not required. Probes can now come on. Electrics checked. Rudder checked. So check rudder and aileron trim first. Oh, crikey, what's that under? I think it is flight controls. I think that's primary flight controls, isn't it? Oh, we'll check that anyway. Right, left, up, down, left, right, and rudder and aileron trim is neutral. We just get the stab trim for takeoff as well, which is here, performance. Stab trim 6.8 units. So 6. Oh, that's quick. 6.8 units set. Nose wheel steering armed. Flaps to 20. So we've got 1, 8, 20. And then APU shutdown sequence. So press the start stop button. And then you're meant to check everything, all these other things, but we'll just turn the power button off as well. And that's it. Taxi check, flaps verifier in position. So we've got flaps 20 and it's green. Flight controls we've already checked. Trims are set. Thrust reversers armed. I guess in the event of a rejected takeoff, and we'll pop on the taxi light. What was that? Recognition taxi light. Well, let's do that, the nose light. There we go. And we'll advise traffic that we're taxiing to 1.36. The Alpaca 9 and Quebec Lima taxiing 1.36. Perfect. Class clear, start checklist complete. Is that how it is? Perfect. Guys, I hope you're enjoying it. I mean, it's great to be in Microsoft Flight Simulator again. Now, one thing I have noticed though with the Aerosoft is, as you taxi in a straight line, there is no problem at all. However, if you start turning, the amount of thrust that's required seems barbarically high. So if I start using thrust to taxi forward, no problem, look, we started moving, but as soon as I put the tiller to turn right, it's like I'm putting the brakes on. So look how much thrust is then needed to actually move. So we've got 50% N1, at my operator maximum 40%, so there's 50%, and it's barely moving, look. We've got full lock on the tiller here. I mean, I don't know, don't fly the CRJ, but I find it very surprising that this amount of thrust, it's actually stopping, so I need even more thrust. As soon as you center the tiller, it shoots off, look, it's like, whee, it goes off, but as soon as I put the right tiller in, look at that, it's like I've got the brake on. But it's always been like this, I remember it when we last streamed it ages ago. Anyway, there's a A380 looking aeroplane with the engines far too close together. We'll zip on ahead of him. There's actually a taxi just went underneath him. That's pretty impressive.
Q6 traffic, Alpaca 85 pushing back stand 14.
Just a bit of jet blast on the apron, absolutely. I flew to an undisclosed airport on Monday, proper winter ops in the 7-3. It was a contaminated runway. We had 5mm of wet snow. It was great fun. Just got to take your time, everything slows down. But yeah, it was. I had to wait an hour to get airborne. Very busy there as well. Matches over 20% tiller input creates a lot of drag. Always start with a bit of angle and then increase. See, matches in the 737. That's not the same. I mean, you always start moving, but I'm just. You always start moving with the tiller straight to break the inertia. But as soon as you turn, you know, there's so much inertia with the aircraft. It doesn't just slow down. So if I just taxi like this, as soon as I start turning here, it's like a braking, and there you go. It's like stops. I mean, it doesn't do that in the 7.3, but then again, the 737 is 3 times the weight. And there you go. It just seems to break away really slowly. Look, I've got 50% thrust here, and it's just not moving. I mean, I don't even have any tiller here. That might be a Microsoft Flight Sim thing, though. Matthew Presley's the one to answer that question. It is a little bit uphill here, to be fair. Sim, I wonder if the long fuselage creates a moment that is hard to overcome with one little engines on the turn, the engine positioning at the back, possibly. But yeah, I've now got 40% N1, and it's a bit like the level up in X-Plane. Where's our ground speed? Yeah, it seems to be actually slowing down. You know, that would be more than enough thrust to taxi. I think I'm going to need more. Anyway, we are on the way. Mattis, yeah, Sim has some issues in that aspect at this moment. Very good. Otherwise, all is excellent so far. Yeah, talk about the elevation is a bit interesting here. It's like a NASCAR racetrack. You just go around here. I think you need a little bit more thrust here, otherwise we're going to be going backwards. It's 40%. I think it's going to struggle here, uphill. Yeah, I'm going to have to give it a little bit more oomph here, because we're only doing about 5 knots. I'm going to have more thrust here. It's almost 50%. But it is uphill, to be fair. 56%. It's almost takeoff thrust. There we are, over the crest. And to be fair, probably the fact that I think Microsoft Flight Simulator's atmospheric model is meant to be quite accurate, so it's probably even taking into account the fact that the density altitude is about 10,000 feet here. Have I forgotten the paperwork? Well, we'll just ignore the fact he's there. Smash. Right, let's do the before takeoff checklist. I'm utilising the Aerosoft including tutorial here. So flaps verified 20, green light, stab trim set for departure. That is 6.8 units. Thrust reversers are armed. Flight instruments checked. FMS as required. Auto tuning's on. Brake temperature. First light of the day. So they are checked. And the next will be the before takeoff checklist, which we'll do at the whole point. And we'll just cover the SID. I do miss the fact that we have that little, don't have that little pop-up display, but there is the RNAV SID. So climb at 0019,000. 9,000. Once we're at 9,000 feet, which will only be 1,000 feet after we're airborne. Left direct to Quebec, Mike 023, cross 023 out above 11,500, then 295. So I'll engage nav mode at 400 feet. The takeoff profile is not too dissimilar to the 737s with regards to, you know, checking roll modes, pitch modes. They're a bit different, but it's the sort of same profile. There we are on a bit of a flat bit now, so I can bring the thrust back. Maybe a fat passenger, maybe. Oh, being followed by that truck now. But the scenery does look absolutely spectacular. We have been here in the Bombardier 737, believe it or not. Yeah, I was a bit torn whether to take this or the PMDG DC-6 here, because these are sort of a two, I think, better pay wear quality aircraft available on Microsoft Flight Simulator. I know there's a lot of other ones, but the DC-6 would have been epic, but a little bit too long for the time. I mean, time-wise, this is the only evening I had free for a stream. I might be able to do something tomorrow, but I'm working Friday. I'm actually not flying out of my base tomorrow. I've actually got to get a taxi to a different airport in the UK, operating on Friday. Saturday I'm on standby, fingers crossed for across the pond. And then Sunday I'm flying as well. It's quite busy the next few days. Kingfish, what program for ATC? That was a VAT sim, what you probably heard there. After gear up, speed mode, 400 feet, nav or heading mode at a minimum of 600 feet, autopilot on. Alright, cool, Matthew, I'll do my best.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
And I push the toga button so you can see takeoff in green. It's not going to be pretty, Matthew. I'll do my best. Right, so here we are at the whole point. We'll just hold here for a second. There's no one behind me, is there? No, not at the moment, so not holding anyone up. There we are. So just overshooting that line, so I end up sort of on the centre line. There we go. Right, so let's just set the parking brake for a second, make sure we get everything done correctly. So, parking brake is set, so... Right, got lights on, strobes on, ignition is required, so not expecting icy conditions after departure, so off, flight attendants advised, transponder on as required, so we are on, and I think... Do I have to hold this down to make sure altitude holding is on? Can't remember. Ah, there we are. Altitude reporting on. Perfect. Radar as required. It's not simulated, so I won't worry about that. The CAS is checked and cleared. There's nothing on there. The radio tuning panels are all set to auto. Happy with the range. I'll just decrease this slightly. There we go. And I think we're ready to go. I don't think there's anything major I've forgotten. So, let's release parking brake. Just check that final is clear. There's no ATC, but I can't see anyone on short final. Let's line up. Hopefully you won't have to get out and push for takeoff. Hopefully not. But in a straight line, it's not too bad. So where's my notes? I push toga, set thrust, engage nav at 400 feet, and then set... Oh, sorry, set the toga detent. Remember, there's no auto throttle on this. Select roll mode at 400 feet, verify roll mode, bug up at the appropriate height, and then retract the flaps as per placarded speeds. These are my own notes. Alpaca, Nida, Quebec, Lima to Quito traffic, taking off runway 36. So I've overshot the centre line slightly, but I need so much thrust here. Let me just get back on. Well, I'll tidy it up there. Right, don't forget the timer, otherwise you guys will start shouting at me. So I think if I push that button, I think it's automatic. Is it automatic? There we are. I'll start the chronometer as well, just in case the elapsed timer doesn't work. Right, Toga's in chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go for the first ever time to Peru. Right, so let's get the engines up to 60%. I'll just hold it on the brakes here for a second. So that's looking good. Everything's looking in the green. Oil pressure's fine. And Toga. There we are. Toga thrust set. And the ECAM will set the required takeoff thrust setting. Airspeed to live. There's 80 knots. Acceleration's quite slow because density altitude's so high, remember. V1, rotate. And we're airborne. Pause ready climb, gears coming up. And I'm just trimming onto those flight directors. Oh, got an RA. So waiting for 400 feet radio altimeter. So I'm now going to select nav. And there's 600 feet. I'm going to select speed. So the flight director is now going to command that speed for a short while. I'm just going to wait until we're above that first restriction of 9,100. There we are, there's the left turn. I'm now going to start accelerating, so I'll bug 220 knots. And we'll retract the flaps based off the speeds. So I'm going to select flap 8 at 143 knots, which are above. So flaps to 8. Flap 1 above 151. And flaps up at 175. There's no flyby camera, unfortunately, in
50.
Microsoft
40,
Flight Simulator, but so far, so good.
20, 10.
Thank you very much, Cosmos Summary, I think that is. Hope you're doing well. Looking good. It flies really nicely. I do like it, and ooh, looking beautifully settled here. So just initially maintain 220 knots. If I bring up Navigraph, got the wrong chart up. There we are. So we're just going to maintain 220 knots. The reason is I want to get as high as possible. We're already above the minimum height here of 11,500. Once we've gone round the turn here at Ilpex, we'll accelerate from 220 all the way to our Econ climb speed of 290. So that's looking good. Let me just get rid of Navigraph. There we go. So I'll now engage the autopilot. Just going to trim those down here a little bit. So there we are. Autopilot's in. 220 knots, and we'll do the after takeoff checklist, which I have here. Pretty happy with that takeoff. So, climb check, fuel cross flow and auto if required, bleeds and APU is set, so the bleeds and APU. APU's off, bleeds are on, light passengers seats as required, we'll leave the seatbelt sign on to a little bit higher. CAS checked, nav aids are in auto, and then set standard at the transition level. So, engine anti-ice usage in this aircraft, is it just simply selecting engine anti-ice on? Do you have to do anything else? Well, it's on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving sandwiches.
Matthew Presley, nicely done, I'll take it. I know it's completely non-standard, your SOPs and stuff, but happy with how we are. Oh, what happened to the timer though? Ah, no, it's good. 3 minutes, perfect. We're now serving sandwiches, lovely. So yeah, the takeoff profile I did, as I was saying, similar to the 737, I just sort of did my operator's profile. Worked out quite well. Accelerated, bugged up at about 1,000 feet above the ground. And yeah, I mean, here would be a very unique procedure with regards to the elevation, because we're so high. You've got to be quite careful with your performance, your takeoff performance and climb performance as well. I should think in the event of an engine failure, there's a very specific routing to fly as well. We'll set standard now. So, that's mouse cursor's gone again. How do I... There you go. Sometimes the only way for me to get my mouse cursor back. Set standard. I think I pushed that in. Do I? No, I know there's a standard button. I can rotate it. How do I set standard? Push for standard. I press B. Right, so we're just waiting until we are inbound to Sinner, and then we'll be all good. Right click first. Ah, okay. Let's just increase the scale here slightly. Yeah, it navigates really nicely. I think this is one of the better payware aircraft available in Microsoft Flight Simulation at the moment. And it's nice to see it's been updated. The issues that I was having in the earlier build versions on the ILS, I flew an ILS yesterday and it seemed to do it really nicely, very accurately. Sorry for me popping out all the time, it's just to get any updates with regards to this mouse cursor fix. So you know how you can see my mouse cursor here. Sometimes if you pan around, move around like this, there you go, it just disappears off the face of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And the only way to get it back, I found, is to switch views. So I go outside, inside, and there you go, you get your mouse cursor back. That's what it's said to do online. That's been like that for months now. They must have done 3 or 4 sim updates. It's just not been fixed. Right, let's accelerate to 290 knots. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to put the thrust to climb. There we are. Almost perfect. Seems to have overshot the turn slightly. Ah, does the heading sync button? Does that actually... Oh, it doesn't seem to be syncing. Otherwise, we're looking good. And the scenery today is going to be absolutely spectacular. We seem to be all over a little bit on the Sin though, but we'll eventually head on our way towards Sinner, or Sinner, and Quito. We're already nearly above 25,000 feet, so performance of this aircraft's great. Look at this beautiful routing here. I mean, the Andes run the whole length of South America, but this part here, you know, 20,000 feet's the elevation. very high. Ah, that's loud. Best do the pre-cruise checks actually, because remember the elevation was 8,000 feet, so around 18,000 feet, which is about 4,000 feet ago. We should turn all the lights off. So lights off. We'll do a fuel check at our first waypoint after top of climb. Let's turn this music down here. AP's off. Pressurization, I should think, is a CAS. Oh, can I check that with the CAS or whatever this system is? Is there a pressurization? ECS, what's that? Air conditioning systems. It's pressurization. There's one that has. Oh, is it stat? Ah, there we go. So yeah, cabin altitude 7,200. Cabin altitude is decreasing at the moment. Diff pressure is 5.8 psi. Oh yeah, landing elevation. I think I have to set that up here on the overhead panel. There we are. This is the landing elevation. We'll do that later. Seatbelts. Let's let the passengers go. I'll put in the auto position. There we are. Oh, beacon is off. Nothing to see here. I forget to do that after engine start. Whoops. That's universal. You need to click RPM on heading to use the sync button. RPM, what's that? Oh, my mouse cursor, come back. There we go. Simple takeoffs. She looks so similar to the Challenger, especially the overhead panel. I think I'll buy this CRJ. Yeah, I mean, it's reasonably priced. It's €50, I think. So it's sort of like middle of the road pricing. It's not like some pay add-ons. There's quite a lot modelled. You've got a heap of manuals. I mean, I'm using 3 of them here. The V-Speeds, the tutorial. It's got a fully functioning FMS. Yeah, it's not the hot start. You know, it's bits. The hot start is just 3 years of making an aeroplane, which pretty much matches its real-world counterpart to absolutely every bolt, nut, and screw. But this is a great little aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I think fairly priced. Do I still need engine anti-ice? Absolutely not. I forgot to turn that off. Actually, is there any indication? Let me just turn it back on. Is there any indication? Oh yeah, cowl anti-ice. There we are. So, I should think the reversers no longer need to be armed, or do they stay armed? And that's quite a good page to have up there, the stat page. I'll disarm the reversers. I should think they're probably off at this stage. So, decimal 7.4, I think we convert to Mach now. How do I change over to Mach from indicated? I mean, I could just bring the indicated airspeed back, but I should think there's a way of converting that to Mach. Or is it automatic? So doing 7.4. What's the CRJ 550 code? Good question, David. I have no idea off the top of my head. I took a guess that CRJ7, when it came up in that V-Pilot here, CRJ7 was the code for the 700. Recipher music. CRJ is easily the best plane in Microsoft Flight Sim right now, but I'd wish they'd given us a 700 900 together. I never fly the 550 or 1000. Very good. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't think of another one. Maybe the PMDG DC6, but is that all up and running? I haven't flown that for, again, months. I'll probably fly that again soon. I'm going to be going this weekend, very likely, based on all your votes, the A340 for Cross the Land. I've then got to jump back into Zebo. It's been a while since we jumped the mod, and I always want to go back to a 737. And then, it might be the Tupolev. Been putting it off for nearly a year and a half. It's only 10-15 euros now, and actually you should probably hold off. It's going to be free at some point. It'll transition to Mach at flight level 316. Ah, very good. Well, we're doing 7.7 now. I think we're going to be doing 7.4. I'll just crank the speed back a little bit then. Let's see if it does it. 316. Oh, you're a genius. There we are, 7.6. So I think 7.4 they want for the climb. And then we're going to accelerate to 7.778 for the cruise, because that's what the flight plan, I believe, is based off. Let me grab the PDF. Yeah, 7.8 actually. 7.8370. So we can go up there. It's not the most efficient speed, but gets us there quickly.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Thank you
10.
very much, Diego Arnulfo, for the £5, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hello, dude. Thank you to fly to my home airport, Lima.
Ah, you're
Do you
welcome.
know alpacas are from Peru? Can I suggest the route SPJC? The approach is a real challenge.
Thanks, Diego, for the £5. That's very kind. Alpaca is actually Peru. I didn't actually really put the two together, and I should have maybe got a little bit more alpaca emojis and alpaca promotion, maybe. I don't know, but I'll take a note of your request to go to Spizzo, wherever that is. The approach is a real challenge. I'll have a look. Thank you very much, Diego, and thank you, Jockey, for the $20, buddy.
Thank you for everything you do, Captain.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you, Size Jockey. Really appreciate it. That's a very nice gesture. Really appreciate it, and thank you. I enjoy it as much as you watch it, I'm sure. So thank you very much indeed. V Simon 0297 is the Tupolev study level aircraft. It's very Russian, and there's a lot to do, but thankfully Felis has the option to actually translate a lot of the cockpit into English, which, believe it or not, actually some Tupolevs had that layout. They didn't have it in the Russian text, they had it in English, so I'm not sort of cheating when I use it. And there is a very useful, if I remember rightly, X checklist to get it configured. What is extremely challenging is that everything is in meters, everything's in kilometers, the autopilot, the navigation, the systems are completely different. You take a Western jet, so even Airbus, Boeing, very different design, but the way the cockpit's laid out, you know, the autopilot's on the MCP, the flight management computer, it had the same layout. So Bombardier, Boeing, Airbus, you know, all the Western jets are similar. The Russian jets are just different in every conceivable way. I've done 3 or 4 live streams in it, and every time I finish streaming I have a monumental headache. It's really hard work. I think the last stream we did was from Bulgaria. We went from Sofia to Duxford, which is a very famous museum in the UK. It used to be a World War II RAF base. It's now home of the Imperial War Museum. If you're ever in the UK, you guys, or if you visit the UK, you want to go to one of the best aviation museums in the world, try get to Duxford. It's a fantastic place. They've got some amazing aircraft there. Just give it a try if you're ever around. But yeah, we flew into that virtually, and that was quite hard. I actually butted it into Duxford, I'll have you know, as well. There we are, approaching flight level 370. It's saying out cap. So I should think it's preempting the level off, and you can see the Andes down below. I think some of the scenery here isn't that great. I think it uses a mixture of default. That looks very default there, and that looks satellite. So I've noticed it here. I mean, that there probably isn't quite as good as Bing Ortho imagery. But, oh, it's definitely got some nice parts. Didn't take long to get to 37,000 feet either. Right, so we'll just leave the climb thrust set for a while, just get the aircraft to accelerate to 7.7. That's what we actually climb in the CRJ. We go fast, 300 to decimal 7879, cruising at 8082. Pretty cool. That's not too dissimilar to the 7.3. The climb speed varies based off your headwind component or tailwind component. And also your cost index, but if you have a strong headwind, the aircraft actually climbs at a much I'm trying to think now. If you've got a very strong headwind, it'll climb at a much faster speed, that's right, because it doesn't want to get up quickly, as opposed to a very strong tailwind where it'll actually climb at a much slower speed to get up quickly. I know it sounds all very confusing opposites to what it is, but that's the way it works in 7.3. So that's about 7.8 now. I'm just trying to find a thrust setting to maintain that speed. Approaching waypoint Quito. So we'll do a fuel check here. That's where the SID terminates. That looks okay, holding the speed reasonably nicely. Let's do a fuel check here at Quito. Bring up the flight plan. So Quito, we should have 3524. So remember, I took an extra ton, so we should be looking at around 4.5 tons. We have 4.6, so we saved about 100 kilos. We should have burned 1,000 or 937. Where is fuel used on this? There we are, 875. So we saved about 50 kilos. So yeah, the fuel burn's pretty spot on. Very nice. You've got it this one, yeah. You've got it. Less speed equals more climb rate, so you get there quicker. Exactly. If you ain't clacking, you're slacking. Love it. Oh, Domino Messina, you went to Duxton with Peatridge. Mega. Didn't realise. Matthias, the MD-80 climbed faster than most fighters in the day. My father, who was a Dutch Air Force pilot, hated them with gusto. Oh, amazing. Yeah, I mean, having the engines at the rear of the aircraft, such a clean, clean wing design, very little drag. So I can imagine. I mean, we're not super heavy, but we're about what, 2/3 full with passengers and about 500 kilos of cargo. And what's the fuel capacity? I know I can put quite a bit extra on here, but we're not super light. But we got up here in 15-16 minutes. Krisk, hope you're doing well. You've been watching my videos since the very start. Sim, have you ever thought of trying VR now that you're pretty much got a beefy rig? Great probably for me, not so great I think for you watching. I believe. I have tried VR, I think it's incredible, but I don't know how, as an experience or a streamer, for you guys watching, it'll be that great. Could my PC run it? I guess so, but no, I quite like just having the standard monitor. Oh, Matthew, pounds? Don't tell me that. What's that? Divided by 2.2. About £20,000. It's about what? 9 a bit tons? 9 a bit tons, not a huge amount then. Cool. TAFW HVAC. I watched VAS Aviation and remember Quito had a suspected impaired tower control on duty. Some airlines had a heck of a time just getting clearance. Makes you wonder about standards of controllers. Oh dear, that's difficult to hear. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't well or something. Who knows? But yeah, that's alarming. But yeah, Quito, where we left, is quite a challenging airport to operate at. That's for sure. So get rid of the SID. I mean, I like the little pop-up here, but it seems to be a little bit more difficult to control everything. So there we are. That's what I was looking for. How do I get the aircraft icon? There we go. But yeah, and the arrival's absolutely stunning, like right over the coastline of the Pacific. So cool. I would have streamed a little bit later to give some guys around here to watch the stream at a better time, because it's midday, lunchtime for everyone in Ecuador and Peru, but it's Xbox night on a Wednesday. I'm just with one of my best mates. I've taken up shooting recently. It's a controversial thing, but not hunting or anything like that, but clay pigeon shooting. So I was down at the range with my friend right until an hour before the stream, which is good fun. Just taking it up, but I'm having some lessons hopefully booked. I'm still waiting for my license to come through so I can get my own firearm. The controller on VAS had a stroke on duty. Oh, poor guy. That's probably why. I shouldn't think he was... Yeah, a professional controller's not going to be that poor of them. Playing Halo on Xbox? Yes, I will be, John. Mick, what is the maximum altitude for the 737? And my operator, Mick Holmberg, 8,400 feet. Whether you can have some sort of package from Boeing or something to improve high altitude performance, I'm not so sure, but 8,400 for us. So in Europe, there's no airfield or airport with that elevation. Assetto Corsa Hot Labs. We love Assetto Corsa here. You should go check out my second channel, Airline Pilot Plays. My God, your sim is so smooth. 1 FPS, mind telling us your settings. The FPS is 60 right now. I can see that on the Fly Live overlay. It's locked at 60, which is great. And I have everything on, not ultra, high end. Everything on high end, and that's it. Ultra, I can't see any difference really for me. Might be some bloom effects or something, but for me, I've probably got a ability to go ultra, but why not? If it looks great, just have the spare resources on the PC. But yeah, if I pop outside, a little bit loud for you guys, but it's lovely and smooth. Ooh, there's a volcano down there. Actually, I was having a look. There's an active volcano not too far away from our route today. So yeah, you can see we're lacking detailed scenery below us there. That's looking like I guess they don't have the decent Bing maps for it. You can see it's looking a bit... That looks like default textures, like FSX. We'll let them off. It does look good there. That looks very default here. But that look there, you can see default, and there's the sort of Bing texture maps over there. Trying to stay a little bit far away from the jet because I've got the external sounds turned up quite high. It's a bit bleh. Pretty aeroplane. Oh, Julia Roberts is flying. And then Freckles Aviation's here, but thanks for making the Leary, buddy. Quality's really nice on the rocket as well. That's better. A little bit quieter in here. So yeah, I'm with all these sim updates Microsoft are doing, they do seem, this version here will be on sim update 8, but it seems to be running smoothly. I don't want to jinx it, but I've not had any of these people who have reported crash to desktop issues at all. I haven't had it crash in a very long time. Hello, Spliff Jam. Greetings to you. John, did you let Julius in the captain's seat? I did. Diego, do you think that Prepared with full add-ons is more beautiful than X-Plane 11? I have never tried Prepared, but I have seen other streamers or videos of Prepared where they've got the best scenery and the best aircraft. It does look really, really good. But I'm a believer, a lot of people who've been watching my videos frequently will know that I don't like to ram the PC with loads of add-ons because it just makes it more and more unstable. So I watched some of the streams from other people who are using Prepared and they've got the best scenery, textures, changes, all that. It seems to crash all the time. It seems to have crashes, sim crashes all the time. So the beauty of Microsoft Flight Simulator, it is in its core a great sim. You got the Earth looking amazing, the clouds, the textures, the scenery, the lighting. It's epic, and this aircraft is good enough to enjoy that in a commercial jet airliner. For GA, amazing as well. I love doing the GA. We did the flight in the Aerosoft Twin Otter a couple of weeks ago in Iceland. It was epic. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, you know, I'm not going to stop using X-Plane, but they can just keep ironing out these bugs. It's the mouse cursor thing. That's annoying. Why have they not fixed that? Mason, I'm enjoying the stream in Spanish class. Fantastic. Buenas tardes. Una mesa para dos, por favor. That's all I can remember from when I lived in Spain. Dos cerveza. Que tenga por dia. That's it. There you go. You passed your Spanish class, Mason. You can now watch my stream. Joking, of course. Concentrate on your studies, sir. John Pafford, who streams Prepared? I've never seen outside of screenshots, and I'm curious. Well, I mean, I don't really watch any streamers, but they used to go on Twitch. Who's Prepared? He's a pilot as well. Black Box 711, I think it is. I think Chewy uses Prepared. I mean, I don't go watch those streams, you know, out of habit. Just sometimes I like to see what the streamers are doing. Mick, the PMDG 737 for Microsoft Flight Simulator is in beta. Very exciting, isn't it? I've had no involvement with PMDG. I mean, they have quite an established beta testing team and stuff. I'd love to obviously provide any feedback, but I'll wait upon release, and yeah, we'll definitely do some nice long sectors and flights in that. Matthias, VNAV is advisory just as it is in the real CRJ. I guess you're answering yes. This doesn't have a fully implemented VNAV system, guys. So you have VNAV advisory, which is fixed. I think it's based on a fixed pitch angle. I think it's 3 degrees by default. See, our speed creep up there. Just take a little bit of thrust off here. But it is quite useful in providing descent guidance. So you have the guidance appear on the PFD. It looks like VNAV, and it's just you either use a speed hold mode or vertical speed. Sort of follow it if you so wish, I believe. Hello, Mason Island. Missed the start of the stream, but should be able to watch the rest now. Thank you very much for popping in, buddy. You know the song from Pitbull. Ollie Voice Game, I've got to go to put my new graphics card on my PC, so bye, Cap. Take care. Good luck with your new graphics card installation. Hope it all goes well. So I hope you can make the cross the land stream on Saturday, guys. Starting at midday. Our departures are around 1 o'clock. I'll be flying from Saudi Arabia, Jeddah to Vienna. Flight's about 4 hours 45. I'm going to have 2 giveaways. We're going to have a flight deck sim quiz halfway through. So it'll be a fun quiz, 10 questions, bit of general knowledge, bit of aviation. And the winner of that quiz will win the Flight Deck to Sim official pint glass. And then once we've landed in Vienna, whatever aircraft we take, which is currently a poll at the moment on the YouTube community page, I would like to purchase one lucky viewer that aircraft. It is looking like the toeless Airbus A340, which I thought it might have been the hot start, but that is the aircraft there. I tried to bribe people by voting SEQM by offering a $100 X-Plane gift store card. It hasn't worked. So we'll do that, but I'll probably end up giving you a $100 X-Plane gift store card anyway, because that's the only place to purchase the toeless A340. But I'm looking forward to it. I like the toeless Airbuses. Matthew, CRJ's VNAV is great. I love it so much that when flying other aircraft in sims, I'll often turn off the auto throttle and descend in speed mode. Much smoother if done correctly. Now, Matthew, speed mode, as I understand, because obviously you don't have auto throttle, is very much like level change in a 737. So the aircraft is pitching to maintain that speed. Are you commonly using that on the line, or are you using vertical speed and then just setting a target vertical speed and just let the thrust or let the speed just do its thing? What would be the most common way of utilising that system? You mean a free Zero giveaway wouldn't be enough incentive? Brilliant. Diego, how much real are full motion simulators compared to the real life from the pilot perspective? So the full motion level D simulator, Diego, when you complete the type rating 40, and then jump into the
30,
aircraft,
20,
it feels like you've flown it before. They're very, very good. I'll just say thanks to Natural Flops for the $5. Thank you.
Cheers, Captain. Are the rumours true that you are growing the moustache prior to taking an A322 rating and changing your name to Nigel? It's very BA.
Thanks, Natural Flops, for the £5. Very kind of you. Hope you're doing well. I am sporting a moustache at the moment. I've been growing it for 2 months. It's not fully grown. I'm quite impressed with what I've managed. But a lot of my friends who are outside of flying all think I look like a World War II fighter pilot. Love it. Half of my friends hate it, want me to get rid of it. Most of the female friends don't like it. I don't know why. I love it. But no, I have no intention of jumping ship and perhaps flying an Airbus for a flag carrier, let's say. But no, I would definitely, I'd probably suit BA very well. Unbelievable. Matthew, vertical speed above 10,000, speed below 10,000. I will do my best to remember that. And on Flight Simmer, will you be talking to the FBI to ensure that all Google quiz cheaters are prosecuted? We'll try to make it as fair as possible, but there is a distinct advantage when I do my quizzes to people that have quicker internet speeds or perhaps are living closer to me. Your operator command promoted you to wing commander. Unbelievable. Yaroslav face reveal? I don't have a face. Yeah, I guess you guys are missing yoke cam. It's not plugged in, guys. Probably not for cross the land either, because we ain't taking the Airbus, but then we'll take the Superpod and I'll bring back yoke cam for you. Anyway, how's our progress? If I remember rightly, if I select this one, you get all the information about your flight, which is pretty cool. So you can see each waypoint, top of descent point, 435 miles away, so a little over an hour. I'll probably head off for a little break at some point. And then your destination, which is pretty cool. So estimating there at 7:30 with that much fuel. Very good. How much extra you have as well. And then if I go to MFD menu and select VNav, there we are. You get all the descent information here. So it's you know, this little Aerosoft jet is great. It's quite a lot they've done here. FMS is all working. All your restrictions are here. The VNav profile guidance will ensure it meets the restrictions. Yeah, I like this aircraft. Side stick cam. I don't have the Airbus thrust levers though. I just used a little one on the yoke. Jesus, I hope you're joking, but I do condone anything involved illegal downloading of any products, so I hope you haven't done that. You know, you've got to promote these developers for the work they've done. You can't be promoting that sort of stuff. Stash cam. Sammy Butler just landed in Bergamo, excellent. For those of you who are perhaps thinking of flying on VATSIM, I did promote yesterday a VATSIM event. Unfortunately, I cannot take part because I am flying on Sunday, but VATSIM are doing another one of their First Wings events. So it's designed for people who have considered flying on the VATSIM network but have felt a little bit too nervous to do it. So they're doing a First Wings event. I reminded this because I think Bergamo is one of the airports they're flying into. So if you've been thinking about going on VATSIM but being a little bit nervous to do so, check out the First Wings event on Sunday, where the controllers are going to be very patient. They're going to allow for people who have new to the network, not too sure about what phraseology to use, to have the opportunity to come here with no pressure to do that. So if you've been thinking about it, go check that out on Sunday. Type in Google VATSIM First Wings, or again on my community page, you'll see below the poll to decide what aircraft I take for across the land. Below that is the post about the event, which is pretty cool. Andrea says, oh great, thanks to everyone who voted for the A340-600s. Jack, come on then, up. Guess what tomorrow is, everyone? It's Jack's birthday. Up, come on then. Oh, he's stretching. There's no yoke cam, he's just trying to show off. No yoke cam today, buddy. Come on then, up. Oh, there he is, he's on my lap. Good boy. Jack will be 7 years old tomorrow. Good boy. Yeah. Happy birthday, Jack. Andrew, will you be flying the 146 or 727 or 747 and X-Plane soon? So, yeah, the Fearless 747 will definitely make an appearance again at some point. I was actually going to vote for it for Cross the Land, but one of the reasons I didn't, the INS navigation would have proved problematic going into Vienna. Vienna has no conventional base arrivals, they are all RNAV, point merge, and you know, it's really going to be a headache for ATC taking that aircraft into that airport on that event. So actually, I did it. You know, I'd love to rise to the challenge of flying that aircraft, but it wouldn't have been right taking that into that event in Vienna, where they've got multiple amount of traffic likely to hold. There's no way I could hold in the Fearless 747. All the holds are RNAV based off waypoints, And INS navigation, it's what we call BRNAV, basic RNAV. You can use it for en route RNAV navigation, that's fine, but you can't use it to hold at waypoints or fly any stars approaches with it. I have to admit, the Fly Live overlay at top seems to have not crashed. Usually it crashes multiple times, so I've not actually updated it at all. Well, it hasn't had any updates. Having said that, oh no, the altitude has just changed. ETA is pretty close. Are you making Jack a bone-shaped cake, Captain? I'm not, but I did receive a voucher. I get Jack's dog food from Pets at Home in the UK. Other reputable pet shops are available, and they have a membership scheme. So if you buy Jack's dog food every month and a half, it's about 80 quid a bag. And you store vouchers, but it's really cool. They sent you like a voucher kit. It's like a birthday letter saying happy birthday
50,
to Jack,
40,
and it's got loads of vouchers
30,
in it.
20,
So I'm going to get some stuff from him tomorrow. Oh, Pete! You didn't have to say that. Do that. Thank you.
Towards the birthday squeaky toy fund.
Unbelievable, Pete. Thank you very much for the £5. I'll mention that to Jack. That he's got enough toys, to be fair, though, Pete. I'll get him a bone or something. I get him these hide-free bones, because the hide's not good for their stomach or their teeth, over time. So they do these sort of hide-free bones and chews. So I'll definitely get something like that. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it. Did I miss the Jack cam? No cam today, I'm afraid, Brandon. Cool. Let's bring up the old Navigraph charts again. So we're now in Peru. It's the first ever time. Oh no, we literally just crossed the border. Look, into Peru. This is one of the only airways going this direction. Oh no, there's actually a couple others. 795, Gridmore 185. So it's always good to have a rough idea what that is. Much higher hill at 25,000 feet. Well, I should think in the event of a depressurization, you won't want to go below this height, and you probably just straight away turn to head west. Get away from the low ground. That seems to be accurately navigating. Look at that. Pretty much bang on the line. Very nice. Oops. Shotgun. Mason Lewis, 100,000 subscribers this year. I doubt it, Mason. Sort of grow. It depends. Depends really. Subscribers, YouTube, and how it all works as well. I mean, all I'd wholeheartedly ask is if you want to meet to meet that figure suitable to subscribe. But yeah, I grow by about 7,000 to 10,000 subs a year. A huge amount of growth when Microsoft Flight Simulator was released. But I quite like it. I can't wait to get my YouTube play button. I'm going to put that next to my other certificates in my office. I haven't put them up yet, but I've got my certificate from when I went solo gliding when I was 16 years old. I've got my solo certificate for my PPL. I've got my certificate from Oxford Aviation Academy for graduating. I've got my certificate for my type rating, and also my certificate for when I became a captain. So I want to put them all in a row and then have the YouTube play button. It'd be pretty cool. I am Phil. What are your greatest sightseeing waypoints on your route? Right. Let me get my atlas out. So, I mean, the entirety of the Andes is the whole length of South America. I mean, they're sort of off our left there. So I was doing my PA at the moment. It's also the moon. Yeah, I think that it mustn't be the best amount of time. I think this is default scenery by the looks of it. There's also a forest below us. What does I actually have an atlas open here? It says we're over the Corda Cindental Altiplano. There we are. Mark Burgess just looked up the First Wings event, and all I can see is an event that took place in November 2020. Mark Burgess, head over to my YouTube homepage, press community, and look at the second post. And that'll be linked there. There'll be a link there to the most recent, or the upcoming, sorry, VATSIM First Wings event. And there's a link there as well. Henry, are you glider licensed even thought about getting it validated? So in the UK, Henry, you don't really get a gliding license, if I remember rightly. I flew solo, which allowed me at my club to fly gliders solo as well, but you didn't get a formal license or anything from the CAA. It's probably changed now, but I basically just got a certificate saying I flew solo, and I could then fly solo afterwards, and they had advanced training after that. I got my license when I was 16, and I flew for another 1.5 years gliders, and I flew about once every 2 months because I was very busy with school and GCSEs, A-levels and whatnot. I regret, looking back now, I wish I did a lot more, and I also regret 2 things. I regret A, stopping gliding, and B, not keeping my SCP rating up to date. I've always toyed with the idea of going back flying, but I'm very fortunate to have the job I do. And I fly, I mean, COVID, no, but post-COVID this year, hopefully, and certainly pre-COVID, I fly upwards of 750, 800 hours a year. I actually do like to, along with the streams, which, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's the other way around. I'm actually like, I'm flying, I'm going, oh, I want to stream today, I'd rather stream and interact with you guys. I do like to have a little break from flying. And I have other hobbies and interests outside of work, so I'll certainly think about it. But yeah, like I said, I've recently taken up shooting. Any spare time I get is planning streams, and I enjoy every single second of it. And then next, it's the members. They're always my first port of call with the channel. So anything they've DM'd me or anything they want to discuss or queries they've asked in the members Discord, I always want to get back to them daily. So yeah, then I'd maybe after that think about doing any other sort of recreational flying. But I wouldn't have it any other way at the moment. Love it. Pretty much Adon Flight Simmer, that is my PA. Well, that soon be halfway. Yeah. We're approaching Sierra, or nearly a beam Sierra Papa Alpha Charlie. Yeah, that's looking very defaulty down there. I know sometimes Microsoft Flight Simulator, if it has issues with the server, will turn off live map updating. It usually comes up with a message, but I think if I'm on test sector, if I remember rightly, yeah, you can see that that's probably not stock here, these sort of shapes and designs. But yes, we're over Peru. I'm Phil. It would be great to do a group flight in the Andes. I think you're right. Next members group flight that I'm Phil will be in India in a couple of weeks' time. I think we're very much along the lines there. I feel like we should then do North America again. America's not been there for a while because we did South America last group flight, Brazil. So probably India, North America, maybe then Europe, then South America. We'll see. Always play it by ear. But yeah, I should have really, for this flight, I mean there's no events here, but time of day is also not great, so there's probably going to be no ATC today, I'm afraid. You're quite right, Listerman. We did do a group flight in the Andes. Like, it wasn't a year ago though. Not wasn't the Andes either. We went from, let me get this right. We did a crossfire. I think it was Santiago and Buenos Aires. It was Argentina to Chile. That was way back. Oh yeah. To be fair, Australia and New Zealand has had no love or attention. We did one group flight in Australia. We had a few problems with ATC on that one with some particular individuals, which left a bit of a sour taste. But no, that's not why we haven't really gone back. But I feel we could go back. Africa, of course. Yeah, we should do one in Africa. So many options. Mark, it's cool that the first swings will be a regular event. Still need some practice flying it. Did Gatwick to Salzburg yesterday and Palm to Gatwick today. But going into Gatwick, you really need to be vectored in. Yeah, I mean, most airports in Europe, are large international airports, you get vectored anyway. Especially in the UK. Matthew Presley, who knows what the air intake at the base of the vertical stabilizer is? This, I bet it's not APU. I bet it's something else. And the reason I said that is because I remember seeing this is the APU. I think this is the APU air inlet door. What is this one? Some ram air effect? I mean, I probably should be guessing. I'll let someone else in chat guess. I would guess some sort of ram air or something for the air conditioning system. KZU Gaming, no news PMDG 737 from Microsoft Flight Simulator, not that I know. I don't have an account with the PMDG forum because they do have a requirement for you to use your real name, and as you well know, I like to maintain my anonymity, so it would not be best placed for me to be in that forum. But no, I must respect that's their choice. But I do sometimes pop on there to see how it's updated. Also on the Discord I have a Flight Sim news update, and they often push news from all the developers and stuff, so excellent. Look at you guys all guessing Matthew Chris's question. Well, I'll let you keep guessing, guys, and what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to have a quick break, just 5 minutes when we get back. We'll carry on with the rest of the flight. We're approaching the halfway point as well, and I'll be back at around 6:50 UK time in about 5 minutes. Thank you very much. I'll see you all shortly. Thanks for that, guys. All back and refreshed. Unbelievable. What's going on again in chat? I agree with you, Matthew Scott. Less emoticons, please. These are mostly adults and responsible people that are doing these silly emojis as well. Unbelievable. I'm always watching Aeron Flight Sim, even when I'm having a break. I Matabs found out what the hole was in the bottom of the vertical stabilizer. According to the internet, it's the ram air inlet duct for the cabin air system. It normally acts as cooling air for the packs, but can also be used as an alternate vent source in emergency. Very cool. Use a pack pre-cooling, hydraulic system 1 and 2 cooling unpressurized flights. Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. I guess that's a unusual place to put it, but that's close to the engine, so yeah, they're under on the 737. They're just below the side of the engines of the fuselage. Cool. Right. So top of descent. I think that actually might be time. Is that 37? That 37 minutes 366. Is that to top of descent? No, it can't be, because I think that's our destination. Sierra Papa Juliet Charlie is 379 miles. 37 minutes and then 39. What's that time? Maybe to the Lobus point. Maybe that's what VNAV's doing. VNAV descent starts for the Lobus restriction to be 2,100 below 4,000, and Lobus is at 37 minutes 363 miles, because I think that's on the extended centre line of the runway. I'm Phil, sorry for the weird questions, I'm pretty new to the channel. Is there any place left in Alpaca Airways? I'm Phil, Alpaca Airways is open and available to use by anyone. If you want to use Alpaca on the VATSIM network or Iveo, just use Victor. I don't know if Iveo allow virtual airlines or not, but VATSIM, you can use Victor Charlie Papa, use Alpaca, join me on flights on VATSIM anytime I stream, feel free to do so. All I ask is you respect the rules on VATSIM. No, don't. I hate and don't like shout outs or anything like that on VATSIM. VATSIM stressed to be all professional and all, but keep it that way. And then, you know, it's not exclusive to members, but members, as part of a perk of being a membership, each month I spend a week organising a large group flight, coordinating with ATC VATSIM controllers and different areas to ensure that we have ATC slots booking systems I organise as well. That's just a perk of the membership if you're so interested. Yaroslav, if you really want to do some flights in America, can you point out the main things I should know for VATSIM? Oh, Yaroslav, I mean, yeah, VATSIM's very active in America. I've often streamed there, and there's been ATC regardless of the event. The events I often can't do because they're past midnight UK time. But yeah, the ATC's great there.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you indeed, Dominic, for the $5, sir. Very kind of you.
Happy birthday to you, Jack. Birthday treats and best wishes from your pal Lucy.
Thank you very much, Dominic, for the $5. That's very kind of you, and I'll tell him no. He's got a bit of admirer. Thank you very much, Dominic, for your continued support and for your $5. Very kind of you. Mark, I'm an old bugger here. 60 in April. Object to being called an adult. Object to being called an adult. Sorry. Hope you have a great 60th birthday. My birthday's in April as well, Mark. Aries. Not that I believe in such nonsense, but yes, that's my star sign. Lauren, flying to Buffalo on the 20th. We have an event from 1720 onwards, so that's a very reasonable time for Europe. It is indeed. It is Jack's birthday tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow is Jack's birthday. But I shall ensure he's well treated and looked after. I've actually bought some new walking boots. I do a lot of walking and hiking, and I won't say exactly where, but in the UK we've got some great areas you can go. We have a Lake District, Peak District, all of it's within 3 or 4 hours drive of some amazing places to go. So I've got some really cool news. Walking shoes, my old pair of 5 years, we're getting to show its age. So weather permitting, I walk Jack pretty much every day, but if it's quite sunny, go on a bit of a day out sort of thing. Oh, Listerman, no, it's your birthday as well tomorrow. Ah, very good. Henry, go to the Cotswolds, beautiful part of the world. UK, fantastic country for hiking. Can't wait to go there again. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of my friends, don't realise how much. I mean, we all like to go on holiday. We all like to visit places, but every country, to be fair. But I'm saying this because I'm biased because I'm British. But there are so many incredible places to explore in this country, and I hope to just see as many as I possibly ever can. Just jump in the car and go, and you find somewhere new. Spyglass Twitch. What's the minimum PSU you can use for this game? I think I have a 500 PSU, but the game crashes my PC. Oh, you're asking the wrong guy there, buddy. Maybe someone in chat will be able to help you. Is that the power supply unit? I don't even know what mine is. Petrich, he'll definitely be able to help. Matthias, notice the slight left and right movement on the CRJ on autopilot. We worked hard on that, as the real one has it as well. Of course, some reviewers called it sloppy programming. Of course, Matthias, yes, some people perhaps not in the know of with regards to how aircraft should behave. I mean, I have only ever really commented on the 737s because I know how they behave and how they react. And the versions I've flown of the NG, both the PMDG and the Zebo mod, are both very, very good in replicating what the real aircraft does. I'm sure Matthew Presley could speak of your CRJ, but yeah, a lot of people. I've always tried to stress to people that desktop simulators have adapted and changed to be so good nowadays that I mentioned it on a stream about 6-7 months ago. I did the VATSIM Gatwick overload, and I'd flown the day before, and I then did the event, and honestly I could not differentiate between the real world with regards to the procedures, the SOPs I'm doing, the RT on VATSIM. It was like I was at work. It was unbelievable. There are always going to be differences. One thing is handling. X-Plane for me is a superior sim with regards to how aircraft handle at the moment. It has its limitations. For example, when the crosswind sort of gets above 20 knots in X-Plane, the handling becomes a little bit unrealistic with regards to the inputs you need to make to keep it airplane where it is. But yeah, I'm a fan of loads of different developers. But some people would say is a bug or an issue is actually how the aircraft behaves. I've had people comment on streams in the Zebra mod saying, why is it doing that? It shouldn't do that. And I'm saying that is the case. You know, why is it descending at 3,000 feet per minute? That's exactly what it should be doing. So I always try to point out from what I know the aircraft should be doing, certainly in the 737 anyway. Mark, why did you call your airline Alpaca? I went alpaca walking, and one of the members suggested that would be a great name for a virtual airline. My initial thought was that would be ridiculous, but actually a lot of people went, yeah, let's do it, and we did. Started doing our monthly group flights, of which we've done 25 now, and it's just sort of stuck. It's just a bit of fun, really, but yeah, that's where it came from. James should come to the southeast, walk along the Seven Sisters, cook me amazing around here. It's mostly around where you were on Train Sim World, from Luce to Seaford. Awesome, very cool, James. I haven't been to the south coast in years. I'm originally from the east, so not too far from Norfolk. So I grew up going to, Sandringham, Hunstanton, all along the east coast there. Great Yarmouth. I know that area very well. Mark always has to go out back when we do it. It's great fun. Reese, either does the plane always undershoot turns and overcorrect on autopilot in real life, or there's some tweaks needed for the navigation modelling? Are you all talking about the CRJ? It did overshoot one of the SID turns on departure, but the 737 will do that on SIDs. When we have quite steep turns on the SID, we actually put a FMC speed of 220 knots or below, just to ensure it doesn't overshoot too much. Whether the CRJ is the same, I don't know. Right, anyway, Let's have a look here. What's this referencing here? I wonder. 5,809. So the VNAV setup's pretty cool. You can tell it what it wants its command. What is the transition altitude in Lima? I think it might be 18,000, but it'll target 290.74. But I think the sorry, that's still climb. So yeah, 3 degrees, 180, 290 knots. Leave it at that. I did it yesterday, worked quite well. Remember the days of broadsword? Very cool, George. We used broadsword for the Challenger 650, which is quite cool. I think it was that anyway. We used it again recently. Also, wet runways and icing are a relatively important problem. If I explain the LA, need to address that, Andrea. The wet runway. It's like landing on a contaminated runway. I flew on Monday. I mentioned at the start of the stream. I won't say where. I don't disclose sometimes some of the routes and places I go to, but I went to Eastern Europe, and it was the first time in quite a long time I'd actually had proper winter operations. I'm very fortunate being based in the UK. A lot of the destinations I fly to are bucket spade destinations. So your Spain, your southern France's, Canaries, about dozens of destinations from my base. We do a lot of Eastern European. I went there, and it took me a lot of preparation actually, because big threat in aviation is if you don't get exposed frequently to non-normal situations or non-standard situations, you've got to keep in the knowledge there. So I spent about 3 or 4 hours a day before brushing up on everything. So I went to this place. It was -10. It was moderate snow. Runway was contaminated. Taxiways were closed because there was too much snow on them. So we got all briefed up, and I remember it because I remember an X-plane. We landed on the wet runway once in the sim, and it just didn't stop. And I was like, oh, and it went off the end of the runway in one of the streams. But we landed here, and it was moderate snow, 5mm wet snow, and there was a little bit of a crosswind as well. The crosswind limitations, the speed gets reduced if you're landing on a contaminated runway. So 5mm of wet snow. I don't know if it's changed in America, but in Europe we've changed from using something called TALPA, which stands for Takeoff and Landing Performance Assessment, to something called GRF, the Global Reporting Format. So it's a new way of airports to give you a number from 0 to 6 on the runway condition. So 6 is dry, 5 is wet, and then it decreases based on the braking action required. So the braking action for wet snow, 5mm wet snow, was 3. So we came through the clouds there, and it was IMC. We were doing a monitored approach. It was almost having to do an autoland. It was overcast at 300. Came out the clouds, and the runway wasn't black. It was all wet snow, and I was like, oh, let's go. So I landed very firmly. When landing on a contaminated runway, you don't want to decram. You want to use flat 40. You want to have a nice firm landing to break through the contamination. So I just plonked it right on the touchdown zone. Max reverse. Okay. Performance allowed us to use autopilot 3. The stopping performance was actually quite good initially. But we got to around 80 knots, or 60 knots, where you think about stowing the reverses. You don't stow them until you're absolutely assured that you can stop. So I left the reverses out until about 30-40 knots. And then we vacated the high-speed taxiway at about 10 knots, and I started braking, and it would not stop. I was like, well, I went to pull the reverses again, and I was like, oh, because the reverses were still out, and then it did start stopping. But yeah, the taxiway was contaminated, taxiing at 5 knots everywhere. It was good fun. Anyway, I'm just telling you about my story on Monday. But yeah, going back to it, X-plane, yeah, when it's wet, it sort of simulates a contaminated runway. Matches, you mean a positive landing? Did I say something else? But yeah, positive. For us in the 7.3, everyone would think, oh, the pilot. It'll be one of those videos that you see online saying, oh, it's a dangerous landing, and it's a very slight flare, but it's quite firm. You want to get through that contamination, get ground contact with the runway below, get the spoilers up, get the speed brake up, max reverse, maximum stopping power available as well. Listen, are you allowed to use reverses on taxiways? You can use reverses at any time if it stops you from skidding off the taxiway. So yeah, routinely no, but if you start braking and the aircraft isn't stopping, you use reverse thrust. But no, I've never had to do that. Anyway, yeah, when I started, I was doing 10 knots, and I still had the reversers out, and I was still ages away from actually joining the taxi. I started braking, and you could feel the anti-skid having to sort of work to prevent the wheels from locking up. It was sort of shuddering a little bit, and then it started working straight away. So I was like, oh. And then once I was happy, at 5 knots, I stowed the reversers. Yeah, guys, some parts of the world, they do that every day. For me, at my base, at my operator, we very rarely get exposed to winter operations. So we just, everything slows down, we take our time, make sure we're doing everything properly, everything is safe. George, that was quite a recent change, wasn't it? Yeah, last year, it was changed from Talpa to GRF. So yeah, it's just a way of simplifying everything with regards to runway contamination and braking action. Directive, aren't you allowed to say what operator you fly for? I am absolutely allowed to say what operator I fly for, but I choose to not disclose that. When I started the channel 5 years ago, I just started as an instructor, and I wrote 2 letters, one to both the head of training at my operator, and also to the operationals department, or who works with the PR sort of side of things at my operator, and to explain what I want to do. They both replied, yeah, that's all fine by us, just to remember a few things. Don't let it affect your duty or your rest. You know, be sensible on social media, and also we have some documentation that we have like a social media policy as well. And they also said we have no problem with you saying who your operator is. If you want to say you work for us, that's fine. I said, well, thanks for the offer, but I don't wish to do that, because at the end of the day, one of you might fly with my airline and had perhaps a positive or negative experience or whatever, and you might start commenting on my channel chat and stuff like that, and not interested. So yeah, it's, for me, I quite like the fact that I can remain anonymous. It's probably blindingly obvious who I work for, but I'm very lucky that they give me full flexibility and allow me to stream. In fact, when they we have a regional sort of person who's in charge of the bases. When he became in charge, I emailed him, and he actually had a look. He said, I thought they were really cool. Really liked it, so it was really good. Anyway, I digress. Brandon, what is the reason reversers do not decrease stopping distance on the dry runway? That's if you use auto brake, Brandon. So if you use auto brake in the 737, it will apply a braking force to ensure a fixed rate of deceleration. So if you use reverse thrust, essentially what you're doing, it's creating a stopping force which allows the auto brake system, the brakes, to release the brake pressure to maintain a fixed rate of deceleration. So reverse thrust without auto brake, yeah, it'll of course decrease stopping distance, but if you use auto brake on a dry runway, the stopping distance, regardless if you use reversers, is going to be the same from after you've touched down. Aaron, wait, you're a real pilot. Directive, alright, that's the answer. That's no problem at all. Thankfully these days, Directive, when I first started the channel, a lot of people didn't believe my authenticity, and I could be bothered to argue it, so I just, well, if you don't believe me, don't believe me. I'm now thankfully of a size, and I think my videos speak for themselves and streams, that I don't need to prove anything really, but yeah, I have social media, I share some pictures from work, and that's all enough. Is that where AYARP came from? Yeah, the AYARP came from Simon, because about 2 or 3 years ago, I don't know, I won't digress too much, but some people were coming into the stream who were they were known in the simming community, and they were sort of sarcastically saying, you know, are you a real pilot all the time? Because on my videos, I do say 737 Pilot Live, or Pilot Live, because that is my niche, that is my unique selling point of the channel. That's how I stand out, because I'm using my experience and knowledge to share with you guys in desktop simulators. So how do I stand out? That's how I stand out. So some people I don't think like that, and they were commenting with lowercase, uppercase, are you a real pilot? Or all this sort of stuff, you are a real pilot. So I just, you know what, I just use that as an emoji. And now whenever I make a mistake, which is on average 60 to 70 times per live stream, the members like to throw the AYARP emoji, as they are doing right now, in my face. Stu, if you're not a real pilot, you're a very good imposter, and that deserves credit. Thanks. I've been fooling you all for 5 years. Unbelievable. Right, I've not really been monitoring anything at this aircraft for the last 20 minutes. Where on earth are we with regards to top of descent? I think we can increase the zoom here. Look, top of descent is pretty much directly overhead attitude, which is in 14 minutes, so I think we are all ready to set up there. Just no cringy in uniform. Unbelievable. Will you ever do a face reveal of Leonardo? Maybe one day. Unbelievable. He's even a third place winning Assetto Corsa driver. I've not got any podiums yet, Bjorn. I wish so. I do enjoy those races a lot, though. Yarf, but fake real pilot, love it. Unbelievable. Right, let's grab our charts for Navigraph. So I'm actually going to use the main overlay for this. So right here we have our arrival. I'll grab the latest weather conditions as well, because I don't think we have any ATC here. So right now in Lima, surface wind is 290 at 7 knots, so it is actually favouring runway 33. However, I've got a funny feeling they land on runway 15 with quite a tailwind, because some of the Navigraph charts say runway 33 is not available for landing, even though there is a VR approach. So what I will do is plan straight in for runway 15, which is going to be extremely convenient for us, seeing we're already going to be heading southeast as we approach Lima. And what else? Weather's otherwise perfect. Cav OK, 24 degrees. QNH is 1011, so it's a really, really nice afternoon here in Lima. So let me bring up Navigraph for you. Let's step through the FMS, make sure we're happy with the routing. So if I go here to the legs page, and we'll actually rotate this to plan. Quite see that there, and reduce the range. There we go. So hopefully you can just about see the ND, the PFD, and I'm going to go here to MFD Advanced and step through these waypoints. So starting, oh, it was actually the previous one. There we are, Atatu, that's the arrival, Atatu. Atatu 2, I'll have arrival for runway 15, I'll have one required. Cross Atatu, enter above flight level 250, which we will do, and towards waypoint Kala, enter above 10,000 feet, max 250. So let's go here to next. Ooh, we actually have Lobus. We seem to have skipped some of these waypoints. I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that I've modified the routing. That's better. So what I'm going to do now is bring Attitude and Carla to the top. That's looking better now. So back to MFD Advanced. Attitude, there's Carla, max 250 at or above 10,000, there's holding there if required. Then to the Mob, max 230 at above 4,000 feet. Then to Lobus, 4,000 feet to 2,100, max speed 200 knots. And this is sort of your dream arrival, because look at that, it's straight in onto the ILS off this point. Now the reason I say why we're not landing on runway 33, because the wind is preferring runway 33. If you have a look here at the charts, reference runway 33, it does say landing on this runway is not authorised, even though they have PAPIs and guidance here. Maybe, I'm not sure where, but it does say this is the preferred runway for departures. Runway 15 is the preferred runway for arrivals. So I should think they'd use runway 15. At my operator, we have a 10 knot tailwind. We can actually have approval up to 15 knots. Seeing the tailwind component 6, it's more than sufficient to be able to land straight in on runway 15. So happy with the arrival. Let's have a look at the ILS. So the beauty is, a bit like the Airbus really, I don't actually have to set the courses or the minimums. It'll do it automatically for me. If I leave, I think, the nav radio here, if I leave it in auto, I believe Matthew Presley, if you're still here. It'll automatically tune the nav aids when I get closer. It did on the test sector anyway. But I mean, as a safety net, I could set the ILS frequencies manually. But I left it in auto yesterday and it worked automatically, so my thinking is it knows what approach we're flying, we've selected it in the FMS, it'll tune the nav aids accordingly. So we've got the ILS 1097, which should come up. The course is a 155, I also believe will also be tuned automatically. So the minimums is next, 246. My shortcut for both this one also happens to be the shortcut for the Navigraph Charts app. So let's go to MDA. Let's set that to 246, we'll set 250. And the elevation here is 113 feet, so you can see, to set that, I've got to go here, I think. Oh, it's really hard because you can't actually see the altitude. I think I'm going to have this on the map as well. Where do you find the landing elevation data? I remember seeing it on the test sector. I think I've got to select stat. Oh, I didn't put the flight number information in. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Landing elevation 140. That wasn't a bad guess. I think it does it in 10-foot increments. So, 1, 2, 3. Landing elevation 80. Oh, this is fiddly. Because you can't see the ND, it's quite tricky to set. 120, that'll do. 113, 120. Looking good. So, frequencies, courses, minimums are set. Looking back here on Navigraph, the MSA highest to the east, look at that, 15,800. So, we'll stay to the west over the Pacific if we have any problems. Coming straight in then, it's a 3-degree ILS. Pappies, the VNAV profile should put us straight onto the ILS there. We have to go around. I think the go around actions here in the CRJ is toga flap 8, set ground thrust, and then maintain that speed until you clean up. Climb outbound off the VOR until 4.8 DME, right turn intercept inbound SLS, which is the Salinas VOR, on a heading of 337, and then we'll climb to 3000 and wait for ATC. So let's just make sure we've got something there. So JCL D155 Echo, so that's going to be out to 5 miles. There's Salter, and then from Salter, Juliet Charlie 516, which is on the heading towards Salinas there. So Mr. French is in there. We can use nav, and I think it's all good. Let's just increase the range here. Excellent. So about 80 miles. Let's have a look at the runway and look at the landing performance. So landing on runway 15, it's a 3,500 metre runway beyond the glide zone 15, 3,200 metres, so very long. There's no auto brake system, I don't think, so I'm just going to use reverse thrust. No brakes, I should think we easily make Charlie. If not, we've got Golf. But it's just a stock default airport. There was a freeware one, but I saw a lot of people reporting crashes with it recently, so I didn't bother installing it. So it's just unfortunately a stock airport. Now regarding stopping performance, or landing performance, I think in the FB here, if we just have landing speeds, they're all here. I won't press the set VREF button because that will actually physically bug that speed. So I'm going to put set all. It still says V1 there. Do I select target one there? I'm not so sure. Yeah, I think so. I think is VT the clean speed, so that's before I select flaps 1, I believe, so 216. And we'll just bug VREF for 132, so I'll fly 137. There we are. I think it's all set.
Minimums, approaching minimum.
Thank you, John Padfield, 13 months as a member. Wow, I can't believe it's been a year now. Loving my time here. Let's so much. Thank you, Captain. You're most welcome, John, and thank you for your year as a member. I feel like you've been here since the start, John. You're very active and great personality. So thank you very much for all your support as well. Appreciate it, buddy. Isn't that the airport you did the go-around tutorials and so on? Oh, director, I'm just catching up here with chat. Not sure what that was in reference to. Oh, thanks Sim7375. Membership definitely worth the price. Not only funny emojis, but explain Microsoft Flight Sim support, PC help, multiple other real-world pilots, wealth of information for the cost of Starbucks drink. Appreciate it, thank you. And yeah, I mean, that's all not from me. What makes the membership great is you guys. That's it. We've got so many people with great experience when it comes to flight simming, PCs, real life. We've got great channels. Could be a bit daunting to anyone that joins, but thank you very much for the kind words, appreciate it. Void check right out and click on the screen. We'll pop the screen out in the window. Are you joking? Right out. Oh, you can't see it though, but that has actually popped out the screen, guys. So what, you can't see it, but it's come out of a separate window, the actual PFD. Oh, I did not know that. Same with the FMS as well. Thank you, Wojtek. I had no idea. So guys, you can see when I hold down right out, see how the icon changed to a magnifying glass? I click it and it is popping out on a second window, the screen. I had no idea you could do that. That's actually really helpful. Good question there by Mick. Do you have to change nav source manually for the approach with the version of it, this version of avionics? No, I think that happened yesterday, yeah, because I wasn't sure certain aircraft you have to go change the format to VOR or non-FMS to it to work, but I do remember the ILS coming out. We need to do set for the approaches VT and V2. Okay. James, have you been watching that YouTuber who's fixing up that plane that's been left to rot for 15 years? I haven't, James. That'd be quite cool to watch. Hey Con, how long till top of descent? Not long at all, buddy. We are about 30 miles away. 3 minutes, let you see. Oh, look at that, that was a good guess. 30 miles, 3 minutes. Been lovely flights so far. Very cool, very chill. And popping out screen just hurts your FPS badly. I probably will, but I didn't notice. And Lauren, you joke, all displays do that in Microsoft Flight Simulator, really? I had no idea. Oh my goodness me. No idea that you could do that. Oh, interesting. And there is the Pacific Ocean. You don't often see that in a flight deck sim live stream. I do like the sounds. Sounds on this aircraft are great, but I don't like that wind blowing sound. And I miss having that B2 volume control that you do in X-Plane, where you can control the sounds in game. Can't do that at all, unfortunately. So it's very loud. I've turned them down quite a bit as well. That scenery looks amazing. Weather's been on our side today as well. Right, so 1 minute till top of descent. I think when we get closer we'll get the little VNAV guidance appear on the PFD, and then we'll do as Matthew suggested. We'll use vertical speed to control our rate of descent, to sort of roughly follow the vertical speed or VNAV profile. Matthew, when sound in cockpit is realistic, in reality that's about all we could hear up there. The wind is in flight, absolutely, yeah. If they actually had the sound of the 737 realistic, you would never hear us speak. It would just be like wind and airflow noise. Thankfully, in X-Plane you have the option to control each individual element, but yeah, it'd be the same here. So there we are, left turn now, inbound to Cala. Where's my little top of descent info? I swear that pops up. 5 nautical miles. So look at that arrival again. So we'll set the first restriction, which is 250 and then 10,000. So I'll actually go straight down to 10,000 feet. Maybe I have to wind down the altitude. So set 10,000 feet. Don't have any. I'm not quite at top of descent yet. I'll wait until it gets right over the top of it. Otherwise, we'll just crank it down to vertical speed. I swear yesterday we had the guidance already. Let's start it going down. So vertical speed. Top of descent, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, it's just popped up now. There we are. Look, there is the VNAV guidance. So remember, there's no autopilot mode that will follow it, but you have it to roughly follow, and then I'll just slowly reduce thrust to idle here. And then we'll monitor the speed. So let's set about, probably don't want to actually go idle. Just going to use vertical speed to sort of follow the guidance. From a sim point of view, not having the altitude display on the MCP is a real nightmare. Probably no issue on the real aircraft. Absolutely, John, not a problem in reality, but from a sim perspective, yeah, it's a real pain. And the screens are quite small. I mean, I think when I'm in this view here, I could see them clearly, but I think with the stream latency and quality, you probably can't see the instruments so clearly. But that's the CRJ. That's just the thing. So just add a little bit of thrust there, because I'm a little bit below our target speeds. Remember, it's not like VNAV in a 737 where it'll pitch an idle path and maintain the path with and the target speed with no thrust. This is very basic. There's no VNAV, it's just VNAV guidance. So I'm just using VS to sort of follow it. Jesse got back to explain to a Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's a bit more time to bake. I have to say, preparing the stream here and the actual stream, I've had no performance issues. It's been very stable. This aircraft seems to be Aerosoft seems to keep keeping it up to date with all the updates that Microsoft Flight Simulator are doing, so that's promising. Would you rather fly a CRJ with a scare bus? Ooh. Don't know. I think I don't. Probably this. I don't know. I'd probably just fly the Airbus. You heard it. Exactly, Matthias. Microsoft Flight Sim looks so damn good and damn stable in this stream. Yeah, it seems to be all working well. You know, it just seems to be. It's just certain things. And I know as developers like yourself, sometimes they push out an update and it just makes things break. But I've seen you been updating the aircraft, which is great, and I'm sure the community are very appreciative of that, because not many. Some developers release an aircraft and then they just abandon it, leave it. Zebo gets a lot of updates, obviously. Probably some would agree too many, but it's constantly being tweaked. It's nice to have them. Martin Keel, do you still fly gliders? No. I gave up gliding 15 years ago since I've been in a glider. I should think I wouldn't use the rudder much when I jumped, if I was ever to jump in one again. Yeah, I can imagine this is quite cramped, Matthew. I mean, the 737's a cramped cockpit, but I can imagine this even more so. Yeah, look, the chair's in that position. Look, you can't get out. So we're sort of still maintaining a Mach number. So I can push this to change the speed. So at what point are we? No, we're maintaining a indicator. Well, let's do 280. That's fine. So how many miles till touchdown? At 90 miles. We're at 30,000 feet. 9 times 3, 27. So I'd say we're a little bit high. Maybe with this rate of descent, we're doing slowly catch up with the profile. Thomas, CRJ Alpha is quite small to walk around, but after sitting down, everything is nice and right where it needs to be. Well, same with the NG, to be fair. slightly. There we go. Cool. So guys, if you have just tuned in, we've started our descent into Lima. We're on the Attitude 2 arrival, bound to Caslar. We've got to be max 250 knots at that point, at above 10,000. Then Vuvom Lobus, and then we're going straight onto the ILS, straight in. I need to adjust my navigraph commands, because once I use the shortcut to shut the other one, it opens the other. Little Fly Live's been working beautifully today, that's great news. Siri looks epic. It is such a selling point for me, this sim. I don't have to faff around with ortho, tiles. I mean, I love ortho, it's great when it gets to work, but I've been installing today the scenery for the cross the land here. Now, I love it when developers, I've got the Gaia Simulations Vienna airport scenery, and they just make it compatible with ortho, so you don't have to worry about patches or anything like that. It's just bang, install it, then install the tile, it works, it's great. I'm just, oh yeah, where should we fly today? Let's fly in South America. And that's what it looks like. These fields are here in real life. This road's here in real life. This little town is here in real life. It's just, it's incredible. Matthew, you guys have dual or single jump seats in the 7.3. The second jump seat is a torture device that I've had to ride in it. Yeah, we've got dual. So yeah, the one that folds down here, it's okay. Again, you won't feel your arse after about 15 minutes. This one, I'm talking about the 737 here, is, yeah, you need to have cocktail sticks as legs to be able to sit there. Very uncomfortable. I have once had to sit there from Alicante all the way to the UK because I was getting, I was jump seating and the flight was completely full. And we rocked up and there was three pilots jump seating. And they'd overbooked as well, so all the seats were booked. They had 2 on the rear jump seat, and then 2 of us in the cockpit, so there were really 4 of us jump seating then. Yeah, but I had the fittest legs, so I said, I'll sit there. I actually really knackered my back. That was about 8 years ago. Yeah, very uncomfortable. Anyway, look, only 20 miles from Calar, so what I'm going to do now is bring the thrust to idle, and we'll bug 250 knots, because that's our new target speed. And we need to ensure that we comply with that speed restriction. Hello, Tor. Just logged on. Is this Microsoft Flight Simulator Explain? This is Microsoft Flight Simulator. You'll always see it in the video description, or YouTube lets me choose what I am playing. So, in this case, MSFS. Might have to use a smidge of speed brake just to make sure we're doing 250, but I think we've timed that okay. It's about 10 miles to run. And then next is Vumom down to 4,000. So we'll step down to 4,000 feet now. You see, I remember John's comment about seeing the altitude. You might not be able to see it clearly. I can just about see on the PFD the altitude. So 4,000 feet set. We're looking good for 250. So again, 6, 12, 18. I'd say we're high. 57 miles to run at 22,000. I'd expect to be at around 18, 19,000 feet. So this VNAV, not sure what descent path it's working off, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Flight Guy, do you like the Aerosoft CRJ? Yes. It's not as detailed as the Hot Start one for sure, but then it's priced in that way as well. You know, the Hot Start is $115, which I think is a lot of money, obviously, but for the aircraft we're getting, it's worth it. What's this? 50 euros, so 40 quid. You get a lot of aeroplane for that. FMC looks to be all functioning. I think Matthew might confirm this, but I think the pitch power seems pretty good, which is so important on an aircraft that pitch and power is modelled correctly. So VNAV showing me on profile. There's 250. I'll set the QNH now. I know it's not quite the transition level yet, but so don't forget QNH 1011. So if I set that now, 1011. There we go. Peter debating as to whether to invest in the CRJ or the DC-6 in Microsoft Flight Sim. Decisions. They're probably the two best aircraft you can get at the moment, payware-wise. It very much depends what you want to do. Two very different aircraft. I've got both, and I haven't flown the DC-6 or this is the first time. What I was pleasantly surprised with, I installed this again yesterday and I jumped in and I noticed a few issues with the steering on the ground and things like that, and I was like, ooh, that doesn't seem to be working. But a lot of the issues that Aerosoft had on launch, they seem to have rectified, so it seems to be flying and handling quite nicely. And actually, when I disconnected the autopilot and hand flew, it actually felt quite nice. So, yeah, if you want a commercial jet airliner, I'd recommend this. If you want to go old school and fly the prop liners, obviously the DC-6 is the best bet at the moment. What other aircraft have we got to look forward to in Microsoft Flight Simulator? The Phoenix A320. That'll keep you all Airbus satisfied. Obviously the PMG G737. But what else is coming? I want to fly some old school aircraft as well. I love the DC-6, but any builds are making an A300 and an A380, I think, for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So that'll be good when it comes out. There's 16,000. Put the seatbelt sign on. Where are you? So again, height check 4812. I feel a bit high, guys. 40 miles. If that's total distance to run, 40 miles. I want to be at about 12,000 feet here. I'm sort of trusting VNAV.
Approaching minimums.
We can quickly descend though if needed. I did this yesterday, I think it was fine. Dominic, 17 months as a member. Thank you very much. Flight Deck to Sim is brilliant fun. Thank you, Dominic. Appreciate it, buddy. We've got DC-10, DC-8, Wing 42 are making a Boeing 247. I love the Blériot. That little Blériot aircraft we flew. Obviously, it's very limited with what you can do, but that was fantastic fun when we streamed that. I mean, we've done all the stuff we could probably do with that aircraft, but yeah, it's cool. The dev was very approachable as well. Oh, Leonardo's Mad Dog. That's a very good aircraft, I've heard. But obviously, an X-Plane has got plenty of good aircraft coming. The Rotate. What is it? MD. I don't know MDs at all. McDonnell Douglases have been making that aircraft for 10 years, haven't they? There is a Concorde coming from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is it from DC Simulations? But I'm concerned that being priced at $30, it's probably not the Concorde that a lot of people were expecting. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great fun for most people. I mean, I know the Captain Sim aircraft are very basic, but for kids, let's say, I don't know, who just want to fly those type of aircraft, fine. But yeah, we'll probably take a look. Oh, look. Anyway, I'm not concentrating. 230 knots. At VUNOM, so I'm actually going to go to speed mode now. I know I'm approaching 10,000. Bug 230. So that means the aircraft level change or speed hold like this is the quickest you can go down at that said speed. So if I bug 230, I think the aircraft will start pitching up to maintain 230, will it? He says. I selected speed, descent 230. Ah, indicated airspeed hold 230 maybe. Matthew! Help! I'll just go for yes now, just to reduce the rate of descent to bring the speed back to 230 as per the restriction. God blimey, look at the VNAV star go down. Whoa! I'm feeling high here. I need to be at 9,000 really here. The FS Labs Concorde, yes, I think I didn't. They made a really good one, didn't they, for prepared? In fact, there is the airport, I think, ahead. Do look a little bit high here. So, going a little bit fast, need to be at 230. So if I select speed... Aha! Maybe I have to select it at the speed, and if I change the speed... I'm thinking 737 here, guys. Maybe if as soon as I select speed, it'll only stay at that speed. To use a bit of speed brake here because I think we're high. Yeah, it looks very high. VNAV showing me high as well. Is there a way of showing you how high or low you are on the VNAV estimated profile? Let's crank out that speed brake. Let's go for a little bit of max spoiler. Clog. Right, press speed. 231 knots. Perfect. Right, that should get us back down. How effective, Matthew, how effective is the speed brake on the CRJ? Seems, for me, very effective. I mean, look at that, 230 with speed brake, that's giving me 5,000 at, and it seems to be struggling to maintain 230 knots. Where are we going down? It's going to slowly, hopefully, pitch up. I mean, I'm at 20 miles, I want to be at 6,000. I'm just going to ignore the VNAV thing here. I'm just going to put me where I'd want to be. It's not doing a good job maintaining 230. I'm guessing it's meant to be maintaining 230, descent 231. I'm just going to get low on this profile though. I want to be at 6,000. Where is our speed going? Let's go vertical speed. I'm going to bump the up speed now. Post cruise checks. Lights coming on. Pressurization is fine. Seatbelts on. Nothing on the CAS. Checks all complete, I think. One to go check. So I'm going to descend to the platform altitude, which is 2,100. 16 miles, that's looking better. Wait, what's the aircraft doing now? I've not even done anything. Why are we climbing? FMS out. Wait, speed's coming back now. I'm not sure what it's doing. Honestly, guy, I'm sorry about this. I'm not sure what we're doing. Speed 288, so hopefully now a little bit below that T speed. Right, I'm just going to go vertical speed. Sorry, we should be at this height. We should be pretty much 4,000 feet, 14 miles. We should be bang on the ILS. So if I go VS 900. Oh, look at that. Oh, I am on the ILS. You just can't teach that. Alright, 14 miles. Going to go flap 1. And we're going to arm approach. So we've got glide slope armed. Let's go to flaps 8, speed 180. I've got armed, GS white, and I'm bang on the glide slope. Ah, there we are, lock glide slope green. That took its time. You can't teach that. So I started ignoring the VNAV, and guys, I cannot stress, if you're simming 3 times table. That's all I was doing in the descent. I was looking at how far away I am, 10 miles, timesing it by 3, and that's what height I should be at. Not really taking into account today the need to slow down or the tailwind component, and it worked perfectly. It was just, you know, I said, oh, we're at 4,000 feet at 15 miles, should be on the ice. I looked and boom, bang on the glide slope. It's surprisingly accurate. VNAV does a great job at putting you exactly where you need to be all the time, but we're all looking good. Right, I don't want any of this today.
I still can't believe it's not butter.
Got to get a butter. Right, glide slope capture. Missed approach altitude. 3,000 feet is set. There. 180 knots. That's bug 160. Configuration, Matthew, for the gear. Is that gear down, then flap to 20? Or do you bring it back sooner? Looking good. That's been a CDA. I wasn't just sure about VNAV. At one point it started climbing as well. I had speed brake out and speed hold, and it started sort of, the speed wasn't really maintaining 230 knots that well. Again, I don't know if that's a me thing or an Aerosoft thing or whatnot. Oh, Matthew seems to have gone. Oh, yeah, sorry Unicom people. Not even said anything. Right, we're at around 6 miles. We'll configure gear down shortly. And Lima traffic Alpaca 9 Quebec. Lima's final runway 15 to land. Excellent. Right, let's configure. Gear down. Flaps 20. I'm just going to match our final speed now, which is 132 plus sub 5, 137. There we are. So, reversers are armed. Select landing flap. Go Go full landing flap here, and I'll just quickly rattle off the landing checklist, which I don't have in front of me. Oh, I've scrolled. Ooh, just watch the speed. So yeah, fair play to Aerosoft. When I first got this aircraft, it really struggled to fly the glide slope. Oh, my speed, what's happening to my speed? It seems to be nailing the ILS now, really nice. So landing checklist, reverses arms, can't arm the speed brake, landing gears down, 3 green, landing flap selected, checks complete. Right, wish me luck, ladies and gentlemen. I hate heads-up displays, but why not? Oh no, disconnect. There we are, autopilot disconnected. The reason I've got this though is quite hard to see the PFD. So we've got a slight tailwind, remember, and a crosswind, only about 4 knots. I've got the glide slope deviation on the PFD. Speed's good. Gear down before flap 30. Oh, I did that. I went gear down flap 20. Is it 20? I can't remember what the flap settings are. Flap 20. We're full flap now. So just watching speed. 137 knots. What I want to maintain. So the number 2 bug on the PFD, does that represent VREF? Or V2 you said. Oh, V2 is just takeoff speeds for us. Right, I'll glide slip anyway. 2 reds, 2 whites.
500.
Heads-up display looks really clean. That's good. I'm being quite... Initially, when I installed this aircraft yesterday, I was like, oh, not sure, but very impressive.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
Just check our speed there.
300.
There's middle marker. Thank you. Phone news, positive landing. Now I'm going to butter it.
200.
I don't have a landing rate calculator for this sim yet, though. Tad low.
100.
That's okay.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
It's a float. What a float. that has to be like -6. Right, speed breaker when you do that manually is up. Reverses. That was very smooth. You have to admit. Not even using the brakes. Oh, there's the first high speed I missed. 180, 60, stay to reverses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome for the first ever time to Lima in Peru. We'll take this exit here. I'm now using the wheel brakes. A 90-degree turn. Oh, there we are. Yeah, don't try and turn 90 degrees more than 10 knots either. Don't do that at home, kids. And we're down. Excellent. Can't teach that. Brilliant. Oh, I've got my butter. Oh no, not that one. That's the Mexican man.
Exotic butters.
That's the one I was going for. Unbelievable. Great fun. Very impressed with the CRJ. It's been such a long time I flew it, and I thank you, Matthew Presley, who is a CRJ pilot, for all your input today. It's been really helpful, and quite happy that we got it down in one piece. Nice, easy approach, to be fair, but excuse me, to jump into this aircraft, it's great. Excellent. So let's do our clean up. Let me just grab the checklist here. So I'll select the flaps all the way to up. Remember, this is just a stock airport, guys, so I will place myself in one of the stands here. There's no ATC. APU, we'll power that up. And then we'll press start. There we are. Turn off the landing lights, strobe lights. Where are we going to park? Oh, still got the speed brakes out. Let's go to one of these remote stands. I'm looking here. Oh, actually, there's a van over there. I might go head over that way towards the van. Beautiful. Unfortunately, no replay either. I don't spend enough time in this sim to look at all these extra plugins and stuff. I know there's some great plugins out there, but I keep getting told that Microsoft Flight Simulator will be implementing replay. I know they have it, but you have to press record first in the developer mode section, which I don't really fancy doing. We'll take a left in front of this van. Yeah, quite impressed with the sim today. Did a good job. Doesn't really seem to be much of a sense of a parking stand, so we'll just follow this yellow line here. Lights all over the place. Scenery again is epic. Look at the Andes in the distance. That'll do. I'll stick my nose in this section here. Yeah, jetways do work, yes I know. You have to use the ground, the default Microsoft Flight Sim ground thing to do it though. Right, that'll do. So, parking brake is set. Let me just follow the checklist here. So, I did it before landing. After landing, checklist, APU on, transponder to standby. So, standby, light strobes are off, probes can come off. So, probes, where are you? Probes are off. And shutdown checklist on stand, electric set, APU running, thrust levers to shut off. There we are. Seatbelts off. And what else needs to do? Fuel pumps off. There's probably some other things as well. Nose wheel steering off, and then the full terminating check I won't bother doing today. But there we are. Beautifully here on the ground. Because we're not doing a replay, I'll open up all the doors, get our alpacas off. Open, wheel chocks in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the door is open. Please make your way to the exit and please make...
Shut up. There we are. Oh, I did put the guardrails up, hold on. I can do that here. I can't believe at the start when I said about the thing being upside down, I didn't even think about that. Guardrails, there we are. Ah, health and safety achieved. There we are then, guys. Amazing. Let's have a look at some of these lovely comments. As we came on the approach there, early flare, told you, yeah, I was going for that butter. I'm sure I've had a butter calculator which said -6. In fact, it did say -6 on my my private butter checker. Excellent. Laura, PAP equals precision approach path indicators. You are correct. Yeah, bike travel to the terminators by floating. It did feel a bit floaty. But Microsoft Flight Sim is well known for that. And it's quite a low wing here, to be fair, so yeah, it's probably more prevalent in aircraft like this. Livery looks really good on the CRJ. It does. That's all thanks to Freckles. If you would like this for your Aerosoft CRJ, use the command !! livery, and it'll be linked to that. Great flight, Captain. Thank you very much, Roberto. Those cabin announcements are pretty awful. Very generic, aren't they, Liam? Amazing. Lovely flight. Thanks, Eddie Mambo. Mark Burgess really enjoyed that flight. Face Captain. Great. Thanks a lot, buddy. Better a floaty than a floater. Unbelievable. There's a lot of toilet references in this stream today. James and Pete, nice one. Cheers to the midstream. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Take care, stay safe. Thank you very much, James. We've floated so far. We need a new visa. Unbelievable. Amazing. Well, yeah, really enjoyed the stream today. Aerosoft CRJ is available €50. I think it's very well priced. And actually, I installed it yesterday, and I was pleasantly surprised after the flight. I felt a bit like, oh, is it worth it? Today, with the guidance from you guys, yeah, I've actually really enjoyed it. I think it's the best at the moment commercial jet airliner you can get, and is it worth €50? I believe so. So yeah, very cool, and a good aircraft to add for your livery if you want to do some commercial jet airliner flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Excellent. So as ever, to everyone that donated, thank you very much. Your generosity was most appreciated. Never feel the need to do so. And to all my members, thank you so much for your continued support. Very much appreciated. To all the regular viewers and subscribers, thank you very much for your continued viewership as well. And if you'd like to like the video on your way out, that would really be appreciated. Thank you indeed. And if you are so interested, I'll be going live again midday this Saturday for VATSIM Across the Land. I should think, with the votes as it is on the community YouTube page, we'll be taking the Tolus Airbus A340. We'll be going from Saudi Arabia, I think it was Jeddah to Vienna, flight time 4 hours 45, and I'll be giving away the ever so much wished alpaca flight deck to sim pint glass for the quiz, and I'll also be giving away most likely the Tolus Airbus A340 after landing in Vienna as well. So hopefully see you there. Maybe might do something on the gaming channel next week, tomorrow, because I'm busy all day, but I have no plans in the evening, and I'm on lates flying late on Friday, so I might do a later stream, maybe some gaming or something like that. If you want to stay up to date with that, be sure to check out the Airline Pilot Plays YouTube channel. I can't remember what at all the shortcut is for that, but if you type in YouTube Flight Deck to Sim Airline Pilot Plays, it's my second YouTube channel. I think this is my command for it. And yeah, you get to see me play some games as well, which is great fun. Guys, stay safe and well, and I'll see you all definitely on Saturday for Cross the Pod, unless I get called off standby. Hopefully I won't. Take care anyway, and have a lovely evening. Bye.